Greetings and salutations, guys! Welcome back to the ALEuminati for show number, God knows,
673.
Yeah, it feels like it. Feels like we've been here for ages.
Will this be 7?
6, 7.
6. Lost time. None of that fingers and toes, mate.
It's been Christmas, New Year, weird week, and we're kind of fitting this in just after New Year.
And we're being on the sauce today.
Yeah, we're a 12 o'clock Leeds kick-off today, that's why you can always tell when Leeds have played at home time I was in my Leeds shirt. I think it's like the second time in 3 episodes I've worn this shirt. So I have more clothes.
Drink doesn't help with the memory recollection, hence why I've got my crayons out. And I've got
I've noticed this, you're back to killing a tree in episode. I thought you'd gone the iPad route.
I'll tell you, before we get onto the episode, the reason I haven't gone down the iPad route is because my children decided my iPad was a frisbee.
You still have children?
I do, but to teach them a lesson, they got 60 quid off their uncle for Christmas. Mm-hmm. It's only half the cost of this screen. It's like, I am taking your £60 and I put it towards the screen. And they're like, oh. But I am not paying, because it's the second time. I am not paying another 120 quid.
Yeah, you're gonna...
So this
you are going to learn.
They've got everything they ever need anyway. It's not like it's the.
Oh, it's not to do about, yeah.
They've got. I'm not telling you how much they've got in the purse. It's more than I got in my bank. Anyway,
coming back to killing trees. So
no,
tell this little Greta Thunberg thing of like we're killing the planet for our children. It's actually your children killing the planet by making you kill a tree every week.
Hmm. Absolutely.
I think Greta around and sort them out.
Well, you could also argue the fact that that maybe the iPad's got lithium batteries in there. It depends. Yin yang.
Tomatoes. Yeah. But anyway, as you can tell by the episode this week, we're in quite a good mood. We've been drinking all day because of the Leeds game. But this is a really fun subject. Are you looking forward to this one?
I'm really, really looking forward to this. And it's took me by surprise completely.
Has it?
It has. It has. Because I was not expecting to have as much reading people's comments about their personal what's happened to them and what they think. It's completely changed my opinion of this. So this week,
so for anyone who's not read the title that's right there on the screen, what are we doing this week, Craig?
We are doing the Mandela Effect.
Yes.
So we need to. We'll give an example for the people who don't know what the Mandela Effect is.
Well, we'll call it Mandela Effect. It's probably a good one to start.
Well, it was first coined in 2009 by a woman called Fiona Broom. Mm-hmm. She was at a conference talking with other people how she personally remembered that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 1980s. That was she believed that this had occurred. But obviously, Nelson Mandela didn't die in the world we live in today in the 1980s because he passed away in 2013. But as she started to talk to other people about this particular memory, more people came forward and went, I
thought that,
too. I absolutely remember the fact he died in the 1980s in prison, and it wasn't 2013. So the idea is that there's a mass of people who have a certain recollection of an event, and there's another mass of people who have a different recollection of the event, and the people who differ to what the real world view is today, are absolutely convinced. And the belief is, well, there's been a glitch in the matrix, or there's many, many reasons why. But people have two definitive memories.
And the thing for me is, it's always a small detail, but it's everyone believes the same one. Mm-hmm. Everyone's like, no, I believe Mandela died. And it's like, no. But the celebrity ones, I kind of ignored the celebrity deaths in my research, just because we get that, you get, oh, so and so died this, so and so died today, and you go, really? I thought we were already one. Oh well, so it's like that. I can kind of. For me, it's the literal ones and the film and books ones that get me. The lines in films and the imagery and stuff. That's like, that can't be I'm not misremembering that like that. And there's a couple in there that are just like, fucking, what? No. And like, one on top of my list is just making me go, I found out when researching, just like, that's not fucking right. I went and dug through my attic just to double check, and it's right, but I remember it differently. But it's not just that I remember it differently, it's millions of other people remember it differently.
And this is why this topic is so interesting. I was having so much fun. So sometimes when we do investigations, it's like, some of it is mind-bending shit, right? Mm-hmm. We've done some, we'll drop one in, when we did Denver Airport,
Yeah.
I was in there for hours, and it's just like, it's hours and hours and hours of content, going through all the crazy shit to all the scientific shit, and getting to this position of, well,
Filtering out a narrative and
have I found a position of where I am?
Mm-hmm.
And that was taxing, it was tiring, but it was still
Oh,
good.
like, I think you said it best in that video, like, it's sapping. It is energy sapping with that subject, yeah.
But on this occasion, this one, I just found this really fun. Even you know, it's hours, tens of hours of reading and looking and researching. It was just fun because I was constantly finding a Mandela Effect. I was like, I didn't even hear about that one, but it's fucking true.
Yeah, fuck. I didn't
know. So I've had a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah, it's been great fun to read. So let's where we're going to first.
Well, I think if we're going to look at we're going to try to put it to any kind of structure. I think what we should do is we should go through some Mandela effects, some that personally hit us, some that are very well known. Then go to the potential
reasons,
sci-fi explanations, scientific explanations, then probably the cognitive explanations, and then have a bit of a discussion at the end about where we think we're going to go with it.
Yeah, then does that believe or not? Yeah, that sounds like a plan. So we'll open up some Mandela effects. What you open up with first?
Well, firstly, before we even start thinking about the first one, I just had a quick look at something just to make sure, because I didn't know. So, have you ever looked on Google Trends?
God, not for a while. I didn't know it was still a thing.
Yeah. So Google still has Google Trends. So put in Nelson Mandela's dead just into Google Trends to see whether there was any spikes
in searches for it, or
because my thought process was going to be, if it had died before 2013 and people had the idea that it died, they would have done Google searches beforehand, even way before his death.
Yeah.
And there was only 2 real spikes, and the biggest spike was obviously around his death in 2013, which was December.
So small little spikes of people Googling it before he died.
Very small. I mean, literally, they're not even on the Richter scale.
You can kind of put that aside as that's people doing university dissertations or something. Going, is he still alive? Oh, he is, yeah, right. I can write in that context then, and yeah.
Yeah. So there was only 2 major spikes. One was in July 2013, which is basically when we recognised that he was poorly. He was ill, and he was going to hospital. He was ill. So people were like, "Whoa, is Nelson Mandela dead?" There was a spike, and then his actual death in December 2013, I think it was. Yeah, so then there were only 2 spikes. Other than that, it's almost flatlined. So if I'm looking, it only goes back to 2004. So it doesn't go back.
So if he died in 1980s, there's not going to be a Google trend for him.
No, but
but would there be a regular trend of people finding out in?
But the discussion should have been is he's still in the news from 1980s. I would have expected people to go, hold on. If he died in 1980s, why are we talking about it now? I thought people would have still been checking it out. I would have big spikes all over the place, but it's not. It's pretty much a flat line up until 2013. So I was really interested in.
So what would you get from? What do you ascertain from that then?
That Nelson Mandela, the Mandela Effect itself. If we're just looking at the reason why it started with the Nelson Mandela Effect itself. I don't see a trend before that to suggest that many people believed it.
Because the Nelson Mandela Effect was first coined in 2009, so that's 4 years before he died.
Yeah.
So you think there'd be a spike? Well, maybe, you think there'd be a spike before
that? Yeah, but there really isn't.
Yeah.
Not in Google Trends.
Yeah, that's interesting. You think there'd be a spike before. But again, how many people? Yeah, 2009 were quite connected internet-wise. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know what to make of that.
So I was just looking to see if I could find some. I was trying to tie a trend together with when I'd expect to see spikes.
Yeah,
it doesn't tie together at the moment.
You know, like I said, the term Mandela Effect was first coined by 2009 by Fiona Broom when she published her website giving her observance of the phenomenon. So you expect a spike around about then.
Yeah, but there really isn't.
But there really isn't.
So anyone go have a look at Google Trends and just type in Nelson Mandela dead. Have a look at the trend yourself, and most of the trend as well is from Africa.
Yeah,
I can probably imagine that's the biggest trend. But yeah, it was just interesting. So go have a look at that.
So there's no evidence of the Mandela Effect before Mandela's death, is what you're saying?
I can't see a trend of it being searched for, but then again, it wasn't.
But the website was created in 2009.
But if people believed it already,
then they won't be
Nelson Mandela.
searching it.
I would have thought, regardless, there would have still been a trend of searches, because we all know John Lennon died in the 1980s, but I'm pretty sure if I looked at Google Trends of John Lennon, we'd see spikes.
I suppose, yeah.
So I would.
So that trend doesn't quite hold the narrative then. That kind of disproves Mandela Effect.
It doesn't disprove anything.
It goes against it though, doesn't it?
I'm just saying I'm not finding
A trend.
A trend on Google. Mm-hmm. It's only one search engine.
Yeah, but it's the search engine back in 2009. It was, I think, after Eve had gone by then and all that lot.
The terrible Bing. Not even took off the ground, but anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on then.
Okay, so I'm going to go through. You might have a few of these, but I think I've got about 8 or 9 of my own Mandelas.
Right.
That I want to go through. We'll probably try to explain them away, but these are the ones that definitely got me, and I'm still going. Hold on a second. So, the first one, I think it's the most famous one outside of Mandela, is the Luke, I am your father.
No, I am your father.
Exactly. So,
which way do you remember it?
Now, I don't know why I remember it this way, but it's Luke.
I remember it as Luke, I am your father.
So, it's always been for me, Luke, I am your father. And when I looked at the Mandela Effect a while ago, in fact I think it was with you, showed me some videos of other shit, I was like, fuck off. I
remember one night we were showing you and you're going, no, fuck off, and like, you're just going, I think you're left going, I don't know what's real anymore.
But no, I scrambled egg for a minute. But it was definitely Luke, and I had to go back and watch Star Wars. And I watched more than one version, so I watched the Blu-ray version, which I own, watched the DVD, and I watched an old VHS as well that I had from the 19s as well, to see, had it been a digital upgrade every single time.
This was the thing for me, was that, if I remember right, I might be wrong here, but if I remember rightly, the only version of Star Wars you can see now, the original trilogy, is the George Lucas digitally updated one.
Maybe.
So if you watch it on streaming sites or whatever, or you go buy it, it's always the Greedo shot first, the Jawas swinging off a band for outside Mos Eisley version. And I thought, well, has this line been changed in the So I dug through my attic, got my old VHS out from like 82, I think it was, and the line's in there. It is Luke, I am your father.
It's Luke, I am.
No, I am your father.
I was about to fucking blow my brains out there. I thought that was...
No, on the, because I thought, is it just because you can only get the special version, and that's...
It would be 92, it was 92, not 82 for VHS.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But anyway, but it was like, it was pre-digital fuckery. And I went back and looked at it, and it was like, no, the line is, no, I am your father. I was like, that's wrong. I know it's on tape, and I know we sit and we go, give me evidence that I will change my opinion like that. But it's physical evidence right there, and I'm going, no, it's wrong.
I don't remember it that way, and this is why the Mandela Effect is so interesting, because I didn't sit in the room and watch Star Wars with you, and we both go, yeah, it's Luke. It's just like watching at completely different times away from each other.
But the line takes different gravitas as well. And so, Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father, did he? You told me you killed him. No, I am your father. Alright? It's kind of like, no, I did kill him, I am him. And but the original line we remember of Luke, I think it's the first time Vader names him.
Yep.
He's reaching out to him as a father to son, going, Luke, I am your father. Like, he's trying to reach him, and it's like, so the line takes on a different emotional connotation just by changing no to Luke. And I remember it being in, because that's when he tries reaching out to him, like, Luke, I am your father, and he screams no and throws himself on, he'd rather die than...
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But yeah, I can't explain this,
So, some people explain it as, if we get back to we're going to talk about all the potential reasons why lines change and this, that and the other, but one of the explanations are that once there's a change has been made to the timeline, even though we have a recollection of a certain thought, all the material changes. So even
yes. So the VHS that I looked at, even though I'm going to know that VHS is
that's changed.
It's an alternate timeline VHS.
One of the many other reasons. Exactly. Yeah. So even though our conscious mind goes, no, I recollect something specifically, the world changes around it, and therefore the world. So even if you go back to anything now, it doesn't make a difference.
Well, this is kind of Back to the Future logic, where where he's got the photograph of his future. And he can see himself and his siblings fading out, and then his hand starts disappearing, and so that's that kind of thing. Like, the future's changing, so it kind of this ripple effect. Not erases and corrects everything.
Not even the photo. His actual family is now his dad now a science fiction writer, and they've got a big car. Everything's changed, but only Marty has a recollection of it. Nobody else does.
Yeah.
Because he had the timeline switch. So for everybody else, it's like, well, this is how it's always been. What are you talking about? And he's like, no.
I remember, and that's the thing with the Mandela Effect is that it's not just you sat there going, it says Luke, I'm your father. I'm like, dickhead, it says no, I'm your father. Everyone not, but there's millions of people remember this.
Well, we can't quantify it because I don't know. There's lots of people. I don't know if you can say it's millions. There's definitely lots of people. But that was. I don't know if you want to go next.
Well, yeah, I want to stay on the Star Wars. I want to jump in with the Star Wars thing. Yes. Right, because when I saw this, I saw the Mandela Effect about 8 years ago. I think it was when I first heard about it.
Killed me with this one.
Right, and about 8 years ago, I found out Mandela Effect and Luke, I'm your father. And it was like, no. I went back, read the tape, already told the story, blah blah. About 2-3 years ago, another Star Wars one popped up, where C-3PO isn't all gold. His left leg is silver from the knee down.
It's not right.
It's like, no, it's not. And it's like, no, but I've had toys that are all gold. I've had trading cards and oh god, I'm like, no, it's not. And to the fact I went back and got that video out again 5 years later, and to the point I had to go to a charity shop and buy a VHS because I no longer owned one at that point. Yeah, I'm that kind of geek that saves VHS videos even though I can't watch them.
Are you going to tape over them like they did with the...
yeah, with the Apollo landing. And then, no, there it is, C-3PO's got a silver leg. I even went back and watched, I found out online, in the Bay of Pirates, do you remember the C-3PO R2-D2 cartoon?
No. Why don't I remember that?
It was mid-90s, a really badly drawn cartoon.
I can't remember that at all.
And he has a silver leg in that as well. And he's never looking at images online. There's toys that I had as a kid. It's got a silver leg. He never had a fucking silver leg when I had that toy.
Do you know what the weirdest thing for me is on this one is I've always believed it's all gold, but normally my brain would go, that's different. Like,
yeah, I noticed that straight away. That would pick out at me
because it's silver and everything else. You'd be like, oh, why's it got silver leg? That would be the first thing I'd noticed.
Yeah.
But now for me to not know it's been there the whole time across all these movies, and I'm like, oh.
But then when you wear this and you go, no, we didn't. You go back and watch it, and you're like, how could I have missed that? I would never have missed that.
No.
I get annoyed on background set. I watched. I tell you how fucking pedant when you're saying you'd noticed something like that. I watched the Grand Tour this morning.
Is that what used to be
Massive Hunt? I think it is. Yeah, it used to be Top Gear.
Who's a Massive Hunt?
That's what this program got. They're going through Madagascar.
Right, okay.
And then, like a quarter way through the show, Richard Hammond's got a license plate on his car that says Fury. And I'm like, wait. Jim Clarkson's been talking about his license plate. Why didn't they tell us about his license plate? And then he cuts away and he didn't have it. Then he cuts back and he does have it.
Do that all the time.
Cuts away and he has it. Cuts back, he doesn't have it. And then about 30 minutes later, he gives him it. Now this is a tiny license plate. You can see about half a second on top of his car. Yeah. And I noticed that shit.
Same, exactly the same.
I would notice a fucking silver leg on a show. On a film I watched possibly more than any other film in my life.
My missus will tell you, mate. If you ask her, one of the most annoying things about me in movies is I always point out going, hold on a second, that was on the other side, and that person's now moved, and what's happening? Like, I am constantly picking out bad edit parts and things and things of the scenes that have all moved around or aren't there, and like simple stuff like, you know, you've got, like in Scream, you've got blood in one part and then it moves, and it's just like little things.
Yeah, the little things get me. I'd noticed a fucking silver leg on a gold robot.
Exactly. I'm exactly the same, and so for me, I'm sat here, like, this is why I find this quite exciting.
And these are toys and again, not just the film, but toys I played with for my entire childhood. He did not have a silver leg.
And this is why I find this really exciting, why my voice is going up an octave. It's already high enough anyway, you know, because it's just like, this blows my bloody little brains out.
And this isn't noticing some, I used to have, again, like I say, noticing details and stuff, right? I used to have a ring and a necklace and a Zippo lighter that was a Bamford skull.
Oh, right.
Right, and a Bamford skull on the thing, and a Bamford skull ring and a necklace, and I had all that simply because you see it for like 0.8 of a second on Boba Fett's shoulder. And I fucking love Boba Fett. So I had a full fucking jewellery, like these little gifts that someone bought me for my birthday, because it was a Bamford skull that I loved, and I had the Bamford skull and everything I was doing, and thinking about like stuff I was doing, work and whatnot, like on the computer and stuff. I put a Bamford skull in the bottom of my page as a watermark kind of thing when I was doing my school work and stuff. So someone on his bought me this Bamford skull thing, and that's all because of something that's on the screen for 0.8 seconds.
And something across movies for tens of hours, you've never noticed once.
But this is a fucking main character. He's probably the only character you meet properly for the first 20 minutes of the film.
I mean, the only time he doesn't have a silver leg is episode 1, isn't it? When he putting together he had no shell at first, and then Anakin puts him a shell on. I think he's all gold at that point.
Yeah, but this is the original trilogy that he has a silver leg all throughout it, and it's like, no, you didn't. Even the bit went on Cloud City, where he's running he's in a backpack and he's got 2 gold legs hanging out of his head. Like, no, apparently one of them silver. We just didn't notice it.
It's fucking mind blowing. It boggles me. I don't know how we're going to wrap this up at the end.
I don't know.
I tell you, this was one I said to my kids today. This is not Star Wars related. I said this to my kids today, and they're like, I was called a liar by my kids. so my kids think it's this, my missus thinks it's this, and I had to prove it was different. So, have you ever seen Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs?
Yes. It's the next one on my list.
Okay, so mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
It's always been that. It's always been that. Apparently it's not.
No, apparently it's magic mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all.
It doesn't even sound right, does it?
I'm like, you can get fucked right now. Like this, you speak to anybody. I don't know a single person who goes, oh, it's magic mirror.
Yeah.
No, it's mirror, mirror. Everyone remembers it as mirror, mirror.
Every school reading of that book, every Disney film that we saw, that
I'm not
my sister, every panel I've been to has been mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. Like, it actually phonetic, I don't think phonetic is the right word, but it flows nicely. Yeah. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. Like, magic mirror on the wall. The word sounds wrong, it sounds out of place, doesn't it?
It's because it's wrong. Disney's got it wrong. It's mirror, mirror, and Disney have fucked us. Disney Vault we were talking about.
Disney Vault I'm talking about, they just put the tapes and put it back out again.
Yeah, there's no way that's ever been magic mirror on the wall.
No, there's not at all.
None. It never was magic mirror.
It's always been mirror, mirror on the wall.
It's not magic mirror.
I don't know. I wonder where we're going to come down on this at the end.
Thing is though, it's like I thought ahead, going, how am I going to wrap this up? In my own opinion, how do I wrap this up at the end? And I'm like, I genuinely got no fucking clue. I'm hoping you give me some.
I'm trying to say, I'm hoping Craig gives me something I can feed off of. That I'm going to be sat here while they're talking. You're going to be logical, and linear, and intelligent, and slightly verging on pedantic like you normally are with your research. And I'm going to go, brilliant, I'm going to close it now. I'm going to make my closing speech while you're talking, and you're not helping me out here, mate.
I might get it later. But I'm just going through the ones that have done me in. So mirror, mirror on the wall. Never ever has it been anything else.
It was. I know it was.
It's never been anything
I
else.
fucking know it was. And this was saying about small details. It's not even like, oh, you remembered that wrongly. Me and the rest of the human race have remembered that wrongly. That's some fucking high level mass hysteria going on.
It's just like one little guy in the corner going, excuse me. It's magic mirror.
Shut the fuck up and get back in your corner.
Get back in the fucking basement where you're Amstrad.
Fucking magic mirror, you prick.
Not making me happy.
I'm getting hungry now. It's supposed to be fun. I know I'm laughing, but I'm genuinely getting fucking angry.
Do you want to do the... Right, we've done 3 so far.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, mate, I reckon anyone watching this video, they will go, if they don't know what the Mandela Effect is now, they're at home going, go get my Star Wars DVD. Go,
woman, get my Star Wars DVDs now. This is important.
Can we turn Snow White on the Disney Channel for a minute?
Daughter's going, yeah, Daddy, let's do it.
We're just watching 2 minutes.
We jump into a certain scene. Dad's there with pad and paper, just Star Wars next.
He's going to come back and go, you bastards. I'm cancelling my Disney Plus subscription right now.
Hashtag C3PO was always gold.
Gonna get that trending. Oh. Do you want to go for the next one?
I'm going to throw it into that I found out 2 days ago.
Ooh, okay.
And this has made me as angry as Magic Mirror.
Go on then.
Monopoly.
Yes.
Can you describe what's in the centre of the board?
There's a man
Mm-hmm.
who looks a bit like the KFC Colonel
Yeah.
with money around him.
Yes. Does he have any eyewear or glasses or all like that?
No.
See, I remember him with a monocle.
Not that I remember. But to be fair, the Monopoly I've got now is the Mandalorian one, so I'm fucking
No, I always remember he's kind of like leaning over the Monopoly logo with the money in his hand with a top hat and a monocle on.
No, I don't remember a monocle.
Yeah, apparently he's never had a monocle.
The thing is though, I'm really struggling because I've not played traditional Monopoly.
Yeah, because it's always like the Legion, the
always
Lead
got
edition or
themes.
York edition and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember him because you've got Monopoly guy at an angle in the middle of the board
Yeah.
and he's leaning over with the money with the top hat on. I think it's called Uncle Rich Moneybags, I think his name is.
All you're thinking about when you said about the monocle is the guy with Games Master.
Patrick Moore.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, apparently the Monopoly man has never had a monocle. And I'm like, I fucking definitely remember him with a monocle. I remember him with a monocle. He's always had a monocle.
I could have been swayed either way of them because I genuinely don't remember. So this could be one of those explanation things. But I could have been. If you'd have said to me, "No, he does," I'd go, "All right, fair enough. He has." Because
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, you can't. But I remember we played a lot of fucking Monopoly in my childhood. And I know recently it's all the Monopoly Empires or Monopoly Quick Round or whatever. It's all these different fucking versions. But I remember in my childhood playing a lot of Monopoly. And I can remember it, leaning over the Monopoly board with the money in his hand and that top hat and his monocle. And yeah, he's never had a monocle apparently. And when I'm looking at pictures of it online, I'm going, that looks fucking weird. Like it's not even like, oh, I remembered it wrong. It's like, no, there's definitely a monocle missing. That's really fucking blanked my head a couple of days ago. So even now, I've been aware of this Mandela Effect for about 11, 12 years. Even now, I'm still going, that's not right. Oh, sorry, not 11, 12, about 8 or 9 years. And I'm still going, no, fuck off. No.
Fuck you.
And there's new ones every day.
No. Well, again, I could have been swayed either way. I can only imagine if you feel the same way that I did about Magic Mirror, Mirror, Mirror on the wall.
Yeah, oh, dude, it's like, I'm 100% definite the Monopoly man had a fucking monocle. Right, well then, what you got next?
Ooh,
No point discussing it anymore if you don't remember it.
I'm gonna go one, right, and this isn't even close. This is the worst one for me. This is not even the fucking same conversation. So, I'm gonna go down Hannibal Lecter.
Good morning, Clarice.
Well, it says, hello Clarice. And it just says, good morning. It doesn't even say Clarice.
Doesn't even say Clarice.
It just says good morning.
No, it didn't!
It said, hello Clarice.
But it's also not amazing way that Anthony Hopkins delivers it.
Yeah.
It's like, hello, Clarice. Well, not like that, but you know what I
They
mean.
just took his fucking gimp mask off.
Yeah.
And he just goes, and he walks up to the bars and goes, well, hello Clarice. I don't remember a world where he goes,
But,
good morning.
Yeah, the issue I had with this as well wasn't
It's not even fucking close.
wasn't the whole part of that scene where he says good morning and he's like, oh yeah. But I thought the whole part of the scene where he says hello, Clarice. And she's kind of like, how the fuck do you know who I am? How do you know? And he knows all about her and her family and that unsettles her and That's the whole point of the scene. That's how I remember it, but yeah, apparently don't know, it just says good morning.
It's like, good morning mate, throw shrimp on the barbie, you know?
Yeah.
Like it takes the cynicism out of it.
It's the dark, disturbing intelligence of Hannibal Lecter that he knows who she is. She's come in there, this rookie FBI agent, and she's come in there to sort of like question him, and he knows everything about, like, everything she's learned at Quantico means nothing because she's learned all these techniques to have the upper hand and not give too much information away and let them speak. And he disarms her immediately by saying her name. And all her training's fucking gone. Like, you're in prison. How the fuck do you know who I am? How do you know my... And it unsettles her and throws all her training out. And that's where the film continues, that she goes kind of unorthodox into it. And
but him saying... And the weird thing is, I don't know where the memories come from then, because I remember the way he said it.
Mm-hmm.
And like...
It's very sinister, isn't it? It's like a low Clarice or...
It is like... It's a very impactful way of saying, like, introduction, like... And... I honestly lost for words, because this isn't even ballpark close. This is two separate conversations. It's not like there's one word missing, magic mirror, 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 or things like that. This is a completely different phrase.
Well, this is like going back to the Luke, I'm your father, where I said, like, changing Luke for no completely changes the emotional context of the life. Right? Now, you can argue whether it doesn't or it doesn't, because I think it does, personally, and it's my interpretation of it. This changes the context of the film.
Well, it certainly changes the context
of their relationship.
His immediate character. Yeah.
His immediate character and how he has a hold over and how she has to battle with her training and desire to win. And it changes a fucking lot.
All I'm going to say is, he did not just say good morning.
No, he says hello, Clarice.
He fucking said hello, Clarice, and ate some liver with some bottle of Chianti.
I would say next to time he never said Chianti.
No, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't.
Speaking of one that's completely different, I'm going to move to the out of the world of fiction for a minute, just because I think it sets alongside where he says it's completely different, it changes it mentally.
Okay.
Tiananmen Square.
What's Tiananmen Square?
With the famous footage in 1989 Tiananmen Square program.
Oh, the guy in front of the...
who got run over by the tank.
Right. He didn't get run over by the tank.
I remember him being run over by the tank.
No, he fucking didn't.
I remember it being this massive fucking outrage that they just fucking drove over him and just like, fuck, China does this to its people, this is horrific and bad. And that's why Tiananmen Square was so famous. Not, he stands there, holds his bags up for a bit and then just walks up to and the tank just drives around him and he walks off.
My right, okay. This is going to be some shady recollection because this is not easy. So, guy in a white shirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Turns some bags.
White shirt, dark coloured trousers, a couple of white carrier bags in his hand.
Walks out in front of the tank and the tank stops.
Yeah.
And the tank behind stops and the tank behind stops.
Yeah, and the tank at the front tries going to the left and he stands in front of it.
Yeah,
And he stands in front of it and it just runs over him and goes off. It never ran over him. He just walks away.
I don't recollect him being run over.
I remember it being a nut. That's the reason that footage was so famous. What's so famous about that footage otherwise?
It's just like...
He stood up to a tank and then he walked off. The outrage of it was he stood up to a tank and he ran him over.
It could be news suppression because I don't actually remember seeing him walk away.
I don't remember seeing him walk away. Then you watch the video now and he walks away.
Does it? I honestly don't remember. Definitely remember him walking in front of the tank and he just standing in front of us. He can't move. It's meant to be like peace and love will win over war. You know,
yeah, kind of like putting a daisy in a rifle
yes.
image kind of thing. Yeah.
Or
Kim Kardashian trying to give riot police a coke. Sorry, a Pepsi. Yeah.
For that though, that video, I mean, it could have maybe been run over after, but to be fair, I don't remember actually seeing what happened after he stood in front of it. So stands there. And
I remember seeing it go at him, and then the video kind of cuts, and then I think later on, as the internet went around, then you could see it because no one had broadcast a man getting killed. But yeah, he just walks off, just walks away, goes off with his shopping, and it's like that didn't happen. I remember the outrage being the reason the footage was so famous was because the tank ran him over, and this was like, fuck, China's doing this, and this is how it treats its citizens. It was like massive outrage about human rights. This was an unarmed man with a bag of fucking shopping standing up to a military fucking authority, and he just and they just ran him over like he wasn't fucking there.
Which would not surprise me at all if that genuinely happened.
Yeah, but I remember that happening, that he got run over, and then, but no, apparently he never did.
If you're watching this video, man, who didn't get run over, just leave us a comment.
But yeah, that's the one that gets me, that I remember him being run over. I mean, the whole reason that footage is so famous is because he got... And if he didn't get run over, why is it just an unidentified man known as Tank Man? Wouldn't be reporters tracking him down and find him and getting his story and...
Well, they wouldn't have been allowed into China, would they?
Oh yeah, I suppose, yeah.
And also they wouldn't want him becoming infamy. So probably his bollocks chopped off by now if he's not been run over. They've done something.
But yeah, I don't remember that.
It's hard though, because the conversation's hard sometimes, because if I don't even know what you're talking about, it's really hard for me to engage and go, well, I don't know if that's right or wrong.
But you know the term square footed, but we both remember it differently, which is...
Yeah.
That kind of says that kind of proves the Mandela Effect in a way that we both remember it differently.
You definitely make me tick on my long-term memory. Jeez.
I just went because it was one of those impactful scenes on the news from my childhood. And like, fuck, they just drove over that man. Like,
can we go fun now?
Yeah, let's go fun again. Go on.
What colour is Pikachu's tail?
It's fucking yellow and black.
It is yellow and black.
But it's not yellow and black, is it?
And I was trying to explain to my kids what the Mandela Effect was literally 5 minutes before I left the house. And I used this example. Me and the missus went, it's yellow and black. The kids went, yellow.
No, it's got that little black bolt pattern to it, and it's just on the tip of his tail. It's got like a black edging on the tip of his tail.
But it's weird how me and Amy's adults go, definitely yellow and black. And I've got a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old who went, no, it's yellow, just yellow, Dad.
But this is where the Mandela Effect comes in, because you go, oh well, maybe it was yellow and black on season 1 of Pokemon when we were like young adults, and then as it's gone on its season fucking 10 million or whatever it is now, and it's gone plain yellow. But you can go back to the originals and it's plain yellow.
I don't believe it still.
See, for me, well, I remember it. One of those things, I don't know why that sticks in my head, but one of the things that stick in my head is the box for Pokemon Yellow. So when Pokemon first came out,
oh yeah, the game
on the Game Boy, it was Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue.
Yeah.
And then you red and blue, red and blue. And then you got Pokemon Yellow, where you had Pikachu following you around because of the cartoon, and he had a yellow and black tail.
He had a yellow and black tail. It did.
I know he did, but I can't find any evidence of him having one.
Just in my memory. Now, to be fair, my memory fails me often, but I remember yellow and black tails.
My memory is shit. Like, I call people Chief and Fella. I can remember faces, but I can't remember names. I'm shit at names. So I just call people Chief or Fella or Dude or Dudette.
And you call me Chief every day.
Yeah, I call you Chief every day.
Can't remember my name.
But this is making me think about some form of fucking early onset dementia.
I know. All of them.
Because all my memories are fucked. Like I've got a crunchy hard drive in here or something.
Exactly. It's like memory's funny though. So talking memories though. Memories are really, really weird. Cause do you know how memory works? Mm-hmm. So if I
have a degree in psychology.
There you go. So so for people who don't, and you can put me wrong if I'm wrong here, but if I have a memory for the first time today, and I recall that memory next week, I recall the memory and I record over that memory with the conscious that I just brought forwards.
Yeah.
So
you record over it in the context that you brought it back up in.
So you never ever, unless you recall it for the first time, you never recall the true memory for what it was. So that's why over the years memory is fake, because you try to recall something and you can't recall all of it, and then you add context to it, you add the environment you're in, that re-records over the last memory, and then that's now your memory.
Yeah.
And
well, this is the idea of like there's 2 thoughts on memory. So there's Miller's magic number 7 plus or minus 2, right? Which is a fantastic scientific name for a theory, and that is that you can hold the average person can hold 7 items in their short-term memory.
Is this primacy recency effect?
Right, plus or minus 2.
Yeah.
So somebody might hold 9, some might hold 5, and you have to keep repeating that information for it to go from your short-term memory into your long-term memory.
Yep.
Right. And the other idea is I can't remember exactly what it's called now. I think it's situational consciousness. So it's you get absolutely wankered on a night out,
Which you do.
and you can't remember what you did the next morning.
Yes.
If you get wankered again, you remember what you did on the night out.
That's a perfect reason to keep up.
Because your memories are stored under a drunken state. So when you get back into a drunken state, your brain can access those memories again.
That you just give me the best excuse to go. I don't remember yesterday. Let's go get this again.
Yeah, but it's also on the dark side of that is that when people can't remember, like sometimes your mind just blocks stuff out, like traumatic experiences.
Yeah.
So put them close to a traumatic experience, and they'll remember traumatic experiences again because of the way we compartmentalize memories.
Yeah. So I mentioned primary recency effect because that's the where again, if you had like if you said to someone, remember 20 phrases just on a list. They'd read them from beginning to end. They'd remember the first 5 because
the short-term memory.
They have been stored in your memory for longer, and they remember the last 5 because you've just read them.
Yeah.
You're immediate,
it's the
but
ones in between.
middle ones are like where they've not been gone into long-term memory, have the opportunity to be held of any kind, and then the short-term memory is you've just read them, so you go, I can reel them off straight away. What were the first ones I said? Oh yeah, they've committed.
This is where you get, I'm going to understand it now, it's where you get the memory palace technique. So when you get people who can remember 8 decks of cards in sequence, like they just randomly shuffle it and they can remember it in sequence, it's because they don't remember the cards. You can't remember like 52 cards in a row, and times that by whatever that'll be. But they'll tell a story.
Yeah, okay.
So it will be like, oh, the 8 and 9 of diamonds went round to, like, diamonds will be a car, and hearts will be a place. So it'll be like, the king of hearts is a castle, and then 8 and 9, so 7 of diamonds got in a car, in an 8 and 9 car to go around to the king's palace. And then they tell a story, they tell a really crazy story, and then so they'll just get shown all these things, and you go, oh, that's fucking mental. And all they're doing is they're looking at them and put this story together, and then they just close eyes and just recount the story. So when you can go, 7 diamonds, 8 of hearts, they're not trying to remember the next one, they're giving the next line of the narrative, then it brings the card up.
Very clever.
It's a great way of doing it, a fantastic way the brain works, because you're not remembering 400 different pieces of information, you're remembering one piece of information. It's like my the way everyone at home right now, the way you remember your mobile phone number will be different for every person. But it's 11 numbers. You can't remember it.
It's 533 for me.
Yeah, it's 533 for me. Yeah. But if someone says my number back to me, oh, is this your number?
But not in the sequence, you know.
Yeah, like, can I just repeat to you? I mean, yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah, you didn't say it in the right way.
Yeah.
It sounds really foreign. Like, I'm talking foreign language.
And again, this is the exact very similar
because
conversation.
we can't remember 11 digits, so we remember it in 3. So you remember it in 3, and then because you say it in that way so many times, you remember it goes into your long-term memory, and that's set as that not quite a mnemonic, but a pattern.
Yeah. And we had this, spookily, this is an exact conversation about a week ago with my missus, because she does 443 and I do 533.
No, I don't. I do 32222.
Do you?
Yeah. I go da 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 da. Yeah. I do 32222.
So when I said her phone number back to her, so obviously she phone number and I said it the way I said, she goes, say it again. So I said it again, and then she goes, well, I don't remember it that way. It's exactly the same thing.
So I don't do like 2610. I do 2610.
Yeah.
So even though I'm doing it in 222, I'm doing it in 111.
Yeah.
But it's not 26, it's 26. It's not 10, it's 10. So I do 3 double digit number, but the double digit numbers are one number.
Yeah.
It's not 26, it's
26.
26. Yeah. But yeah, but this is kind of in Mandela's like how do we remember stuff and how we memories. I know we'll go for a tangent there, but it is important, like how we remember.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Every single brain is weird. When we come to the conclusions at the end, we're going to talk about this a bit more. But just every single person's brain works in a very different way to everybody else's.
Yeah, we have no concrete scientific explanation for how memory works.
We don't.
We have a lot of theories that some are complementary, some are contradictory, but we can't really explain how memory works.
And the reason I find this particularly fascinating is there's so many individuals and there's so many different ways that people remember, but people remember the same thing.
Well, this is it. So
Quite fascinating.
I'll bring one up now. I'm going to go to, just for the sake of this conversation, I'm going to go to Forrest Gump.
Yes,
Right.
it's only one letter. One word, sorry.
One word, right? And it's life is like a box of chocolates.
That's what I always thought it was.
I thought that's what it was. Like life was like a box of chocolates, which makes no sense grammatically.
It does in the context of his conversation.
I still don't think it does. It sounds weird and clumsy.
Because he's talking in the past tense about his mum, who had a conversation with him. So my mum said to me, life was like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, but you'd still said, my mum said to me, life is like a box, because that's what she said.
No, but he's talking about her in the past tense, because she's not hearing it.
Yeah, but you've got, my mum said to me, life is like a box of chocolates. Because you'd repeat what she said.
But he's saying like
Not...
present tense.
So, yeah, but he's using the present term that he's misquoting his mum.
Yeah, because she'll say life's like, maybe not life is like, she might say life's like a box of chocolates, which is life is life.
No, but he's taking that, he's parting that as a kind of proverb, as a knowledge to go forward with. So it'd still be life is like a box of chocolates. You know, it's like, oh, he said to me, easy come, easy goes. And it's like, well, you wouldn't change that for the present or the past narrative.
No, and I agree with you, it's life is like. That's what I thought it should be.
But the point I'm trying to make with how memory works, like we all have memory, we've just been talking about how memory works differently for everybody, and we don't have a concrete scientific answer for how memory works. But this is one tiny bit that hundreds, if thousands, if not millions of people remember, and it's not life or life is a box of chocolates, life was a box of chocolates. No, like a box of chocolates is there. It's just is changed for was, and it's one tiny word that millions of people probably remember differently. And it's that even though we don't know how memory works, and we just have this Christian memory, it's a bit weird that...
I could try and explain this one, because is makes more sense than was. So, exactly like you said there, life is like a box of chocolates. Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you mean. That is the more likely conversation piece.
It's the grammatically correct piece.
So the was part, I can forgive people. I can forgive this one quite easily, because this is one that you can go, well, it
It's
makes
just
more
corrective.
sense. Yeah.
It's just mentally corrective.
Because your brain's always looking for patterns. It's trying to correct
Yeah.
behaviours and goes and things. So it's very easy. Even having a conversation, we could be talking. Someone else could have a completely different perception of the conversation, and you could say to them, like Chinese whispers with my kids. I've said this
Yeah,
before.
I think we've mentioned before these kind of discussions. We all come back to earlier,
Yeah.
where your brain wants to find patterns. So you look at a clown, that's a telephone. I go, no, it's not ridiculous. It's a dinosaur.
Yeah, pareidolia.
You know.
But on this one, I think you can very easily explain this one. Is life was like, your brain's going, that
That's not right.
unless you make me really think about this, about context. Life was doesn't make sense. Life is like, yeah, that's what it is. Life is like a box of chocolates. Yeah, of course it is.
So you think this one isn't so much a Mandela Effect, but just kind of our brains?
This is the one
Correct,
of the.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's not like
But
fucking
and that
CPO's left right leg in silver.
But with that argument then, when the writer's writing it as life was like, but will he change it to life is like because his brain's trying to find the pattern in it, or you think just because, or the actors replying, Tom Hanks are going, really, you really want the line this way? Alright, there's the importance of this way, because personally as an actor I think that life is like, it was better.
Well, no, let's go back to the writer there for a second. So, we both write stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we both look at each other's stuff. I can read a chapter of the stuff I've written, and I can't see a spelling mistake. But as soon as someone else reads it, it's like, that's spelled wrong. So how the fuck did I miss that?
I've done that on my website where I've written a review, and I've run it through spell check and it's fine, and I've checked it myself 3 times and it's fine. I've put it up, and then instantly this one dickhead. I'm not even going to give you the satisfaction naming you, but there's this one dickhead that pops up and
Not
goes,
me!
and goes, 3 typos in that. Fuck off!
So,
I checked it 3 times and I ran it through Grammarly, like, fuck off! And you go, no, they're in that tick. You go back and look and go. So I do that thing now where I just go in, change it, come back and go, no, they're in.
I think Mandela's.
I'll change it and go, no, they're in, mate, what the fuck are you on about, dickhead?
So so when writers write stuff, you don't that's why you get someone to go.
Yeah, but it's not a case of like, oh, the guy wrote it and then it came out of Tom Hanks' mouth. This gone through script doctors and studio execs and to get to being put on stage where Tom Hanks is filming and going, can we try it like this? I think this would be a better way of delivering it. So this isn't just a line. This is a line that had so much.
But
I can't believe it stayed like that all the way through.
But again, Tom Hanks might have bought into the rationale as to why it was going to be, because talking about something in the past tense, life was like.
Yeah, but you never talk about. When you say like easy come, easy go.
Oh, could it be as well that in this specifically?
You don't say easy came, easy gone.
Yeah, but could it also be Tom Hanks was not an intelligent man in that movie? He wasn't a smart man, but he did incredible things. So could it be a play on bad language?
So the misquoting is a character piece rather than a grammatical. It's not a grammatical error. It's just.
Well, he's there saying.
He's a low IQ. He's
not smart.
He's saying it wrong.
Yeah, could it be that?
But we get back down to that. I still remember it as being is.
But I still think this is our brain has gone. Was makes no sense. It's being replaced with is, and the vast majority of people would go, yeah, is definitely the word that should be used there. I personally don't think that's a Mandela. I think that's a corrective nature of our brains going, no, let's replace that word with something that makes more sense.
I'm gonna give you that one. I don't like it.
I'm not convinced either.
I'm not fully convinced, but it's a better argument than I've got right now. So you're getting away with that. I might message you at like 4 in the morning and go, actually, dickhead.
Not again. Not again.
Right, what you got next?
Well, there's definitely, this is one for me that I don't think everyone has, but I'm going on JFK.
Is this the car change?
Mm.
Yes, I saw this about a year ago. It's always been a 4-seater open top car.
That's what I thought.
But it's not, it's a 6-seater open top car.
And the amount of times I have seen that JFK footage.
I'm a fucking conspiracy theorist. I've looked over the assassination so many fucking times. It was only about a year ago it changed to a 6-seater car. Honestly, I'd honestly say about a year, maybe 2 years tops, it changed to a 6-seater car.
It makes more sense being a 6-seater car.
But it never was.
But it's not what I recalled it being.
Mm-hmm.
And I only think, again, I tried to explain this away in my own mind, because it definitely was for me a 4-seater, because
cars are 4-seaters.
So it's very unusual to have this big 6-seater Lincoln, with an extra row in there for the.
Yeah, and I know, like we're saying, like our cars are 4-seaters over here because we have the gearbox in the middle because we use manual cars. In America, they're not 4-seaters because the front row, you've got an extra seat in the front row because you don't have a gearbox there. But it's still 2 rows of seats. So whether it's automatic or manual, it's still 2 rows of seats. So having that 3rd row of seats and changes, it never was.
I mean, I always remembered it's 4, but I've thought about this over the years. This one, I thought, do I only remember it's 4 because that's what every other car is?
Is this going to your Forrest Gump theory that your brain's correcting? Like you've seen a car with 3 rows of seats, and your brain's going, cars don't have 3 rows of seats; they have 2.
They just, I think my. The thing is, though, this has happened to lots and lots of people. So it isn't,
Mm-hmm.
This would have to be this collective oversight. But I'm going personally here. I think when someone said it's 6, my brain automatically went, it's always been 6. But
Mine didn't. Mine went, no, it's not.
But I didn't recollect it as being 6 until I was told it was 6.
It's one of them, even when I saw the footage of it being 6, or like, that doesn't look right, that looks wrong. I don't remember it that way.
No, it was hard though, because it's like, no, it's 4. And it's like, think about who was in the car. And then as soon as I asked, this is the logic route I was given. So, it's 4. Think about who was in the car. So it's like, okay.
There was Jackie and John.
Yeah, the driver.
And the secret agent.
2 secret agents.
No, but this is the thing, there was always one secret agent that dives over the back seat it's only when I saw that it was 6-seater.
But who sat behind the driver?
That there's no, I thought it was sat next to the driver. He sat in like the passenger seat and dives over. But it's only when I see the 6 seats and I see the footage and there's 2 extra. So it's not just like all the 6 seats, but there's 2 extra people in that car.
There was, yeah.
Like those people weren't there before.
Well, that's the thing. That was a weird click for me. That was like my brain went. It was not cognitive dissonance at all, but it's like it became a clash instantly because it was a case of, is it a 4-seater? I was like, yeah, of course it is. Think about who's in the car, and then when I thought about the people, I saw 3 rows of people. I was like, whoa, and my brain was like, hold on, this doesn't make any sense. And when I saw 3 rows of people, then I could accept there was 6 in the car.
I still can't.
There was that was 3 rows, and it took me a while. But it was only by focusing on the people in the car rather than the car itself did I realise that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the people just were never in the car. It was just like, well, there's only 1 secret agent. Yeah, because there's only room for 1 secret agent. Yeah, that's why we're there. There's only 1 of them in there. No, but the 3 rows with 3. No, that it meant because what do the 2 agents bring to it? They don't bring any extra cover. You know what I mean? So to me, it wasn't just a case of there's an extra row of seats. There's an extra row of seats and 2 extra people that were never there in the footage. And it's that again when I see it, there's something in the back of my brain that I can't quite put a finger on, but there's something in the back of my brain screaming, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong.
I mean, I've got the conflict now. This is the thing. It's like I've still had the same conflicts. I was convinced it was 4. As soon as someone says about think of where the people were sat, it goes, well, it's 6. But it's like, but it was 4.
I know this is
So
what
it's
makes it. This makes it. I mean, it's fun when I'm some last weird the Star Wars stuff and whatnot, but I also find it's quite funny because the whole point of our channel is give us. We want to discuss and we want to give us evidence, and our opinions will change on the evidence we're given. And we're sat there going, here's the evidence. We're going, no.
I'm not having it.
It's every copy of Snow White ever saying magic mirror. That evidence is wrong.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Yeah.
And all stickers and channels give us. If you disagree with what we're saying, put it in the comments below. We look at every comment. We will look at it. We will see. And then we're sat here today going, evidence is wrong.
The world is upside down. Sometimes you've got to accept the evidence even if you don't agree with it, right? But the JFK one, this is quite a big one. I think many people.
Yeah, this is a big because this is one we're no doubt going to cover in a future episode.
Eventually,
right? But how is the Mandela Effect going to affect my research? So if I, I'm looking at the grassy knoll and looking at the ballistics and all this, blah, 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 and you're like, but there are only 4 people in the car, not 6. And like, and that's been part of the narrative for so long that. Does that change my opinion of the conspiracy?
Is it 6 people or 6-seater? I don't think it's 6 people. I'm trying to remember now. There was definitely 3 rows on this side, but was there a missing one? Was it 5 people or 6 people?
I don't know. I don't trust my own memory now.
I'm struggling now. I am on the source though. I've been on it all day.
But yeah, I was wondering like how much is that going to affect my research of the subject? Am I going to look at it and go, well, I'm looking at the tape and we're looking at the shot and the angle of the fire and stuff, but rather than looking at the research, I'm just going to go, well, that fucking car's wrong, and not get over the fact that car's wrong, and that stops me from researching or blocks researching somewhere. I don't know. Do I miss some important thing in my research?
Well, when we do the JFK assassination, if your research is wrong because of the Mandela Effect, I'll call you a dickhead. I'll say you've been Mandela's.
Since you're talking about some horrific, the Lindbergh baby.
I don't know what the Mandela Effect of this is. I'm trying to remember. Is this the baby that was kidnapped and then was murdered?
Yes.
Because and this was like 1920s.
This was
30s.
1926. Is this the aviator Charles Lindbergh?
Yeah, that's the one.
His infant son was kidnapped. The entire world focused their attention on the story. Where the Mandela Effect comes in is many remember the case going cold. So I remember this, like the Lindbergh baby being spoke about, 'cause this was like 1920s, 1930s, so growing up as a kid, I remember like the Lindbergh baby being talked about in the same sense as Lord Lucan. Like, it was like, oh, the Lindbergh baby's growing up with Lord Lucan. Like, no, it's vanished and gone and never seen again. But apparently they found the body of the baby that said it had been killed by a blunt force trauma to the head. And they sentenced the killer to death. He had to go executed for...
Well, I didn't know about the killer.
Right.
Remember that baby.
But I remember the Lindbergh baby being this kind of euphemism, this kind of Lord Lucan style thing. You know, like, oh, he's gone away the Lindbergh baby, like, he's never seen again, or...
So, this isn't something I ever researched even when I was younger. This would... Right, I'm struggling to remember...
I remember this as a kind of a... Not an entendre, kind of a... I think colloquialism would be the right word.
Right, okay.
In the pub growing up. So like
Grew up in the pub?
Like 8 or 9, you know, we went to the pub, we went to club and whatnot, with our dads and whatnot. And I remember something, you know, it was stuff like, oh, you know, someone got divorced and they're not seeing the kid because they've lost custody and they have to pay child support but they can't see the kid kind of thing. And it's like, oh, you've got a son, haven't you? No, I've got a Lindbergh baby, mate. I don't know where it is.
Really?
And that was kind of the colloquialism at the time, but like, oh, it's a Lindbergh baby.
This is why I love the fact that we don't talk about this shit and bring it to the table now, because I have a completely different recollection of that. But I don't know who gave me the conversation, because it's not something I went on the internet and read.
No, this is not something this is the first time I read about the Lindbergh baby, really, apart from, I think I watched a documentary about 12 years ago, and I don't remember it being found dead and someone getting executed for it. But I remember I remember it were a colloquialism growing up, but like, when someone can't see the kid, he's got a Lindbergh baby.
Well,
don't know where it is.
My recollection of the Lindbergh baby came from a conversation with someone who I can't remember. So it's not something I read, it's not something I researched, it was a conversation.
Yeah, like, see, with me this is just a colloquialism, like, someone don't know where the kid is. Like, they've got someone pregnant and she's fucked off with a kid, and he can't see it. They don't know where it is, or there's no way to get in touch with them, or all like, oh, it's a Lindbergh baby.
Well, no, what I mean is, I didn't read this as like a newspaper article or some, I don't know, a death.
No, what I'm saying, I know this because not the theory what happened with the Lindbergh baby, the story. It was just, I know the Lindbergh baby because of this turn of phrase in the club, in the working men's club that I went to with my parents. I just knew it was a turn of phrase, like, it's a Lindbergh baby.
Well, the conversation
anyway, I don't know where it is, gone.
Conversation I remember having, or I was basically told about it in a conversation because I didn't know anything about it, and it was the baby was murdered and they found his body. That's a conversation I was told and I was had. Again, I'd never heard of it before. I'd never read about it before. I'd
had nowhere to look it up.
So my knowledge of the Lindbergh baby was somebody else's conversation telling me that baby had died. So this is how memories can be all fucking fucked. I'm taking somebody else's turn of phrase or somebody else's memory as my own. Because I'd never researched it at all.
All I knew, I never researched it. All I knew about it was this turn of phrase that there's a man in club who, you know, he's got someone pregnant and they've vanished into ether, or his wife disappeared with kids, or they've got divorced and his wife run off with kids or whatever, and it's just like, it was just Lindbergh baby with this like colloquialism for, he's got a kid but he don't know where it is. There was never anything about it. Because if you go, he's got a Lindbergh baby, what, his fucking missus killed it? It's pretty fucking dark, you know what I mean?
It's fucking very dark.
Yeah. But I remember it just being like that turn of phrase, being a Lindbergh baby, because it's like, he's got one, he just don't know where it is.
Right, can we go fun now?
Go on, let's go fun, go on.
Let's stop all the death. This was one I fucking definitely remembered.
Right.
And I can't even believe it's not real. Fucking Shazam. Shazam was a movie with Sinbad. He was fucking dressed as Shazam. There was a movie released in the 90s of Sinbad as Shazam, and it doesn't fucking exist. The movie itself doesn't even exist. It's not like I've got the wrong character, the movie doesn't even exist. Right? I remember video covers and posters and a whole host of other shit.
I've read a lot about this one because I don't remember it.
I distinctly do.
So when I've looked at Tiananmen Square, when I've looked at C3PO's leg, I've gone, I don't need fucking research there, but I fucking know This, I don't remember this. And the thing I saw for this one was, didn't he play a genie in a film called Kazam?
Yep.
And it's just people getting the name of the movie wrong.
Kinda, possibly, but Kazam and Shazam's words sound similar, but I don't. Well, I'll have to put this in.
I'm on the other side now because like the last ones I brought up, you've gone. No, I don't remember. I'm on the other side now going. No, I remember this. I don't even know this film. So
yeah, so the only thing I could think of me on this one is I don't know if this memory is mine.
Right.
So
this is just someone's told you something and therefore you remember it that way.
I don't know where it came from. In regards to now I'm sat here thinking about this. I'm trying to recollect, but I definitely saw what looked like a video cover. I definitely remember a poster, and my brain's gone. There's a movie being released.
But that could have been Kazam.
But it could also have been the nature of the internet, where people just create shit.
Yeah.
And I've...
so many times where my son's 17 and he's 17 in February. He's got, have you seen this Deadpool? It's post for Deadpool 3. That's fan art, mate. That's fan, mate. There's not been put out yet by this studio. That's fan art. And he's like 17 and gets pulled in by fan art all the time. So someone seen this Mandela Effect, seen how much it's fucking with people's heads, and just gone, I'm going to make a movie poster and...
No, this was way before the term was coined. This was a 90s memory. This was, at least a decade before. But the thing is, I'm not entirely sure whether it was a case of I recollect seeing the movie itself, or if someone showed me this and said, this is a movie coming.
But like you said earlier, when you bring up a memory, you then overwrite that memory with the context you brought up in. So you remember, I remember that film. And then it shows you the poster for that film.
Yeah.
Is that then overwriting your 90s memory where you remember it to modern day? Like you've over it today with a poster. So your 90s memory is now remembering the poster because you've just added that to your 90s memory.
It could absolutely be, yeah.
And it could be just some trolley fan-made poster.
But it's definitely... it's Sinbad. It's the only thing that gets me. I remember Sinbad as Kazam and...
Shazam,
not Kazam. It was Kazam. But I remember Sinbad as Shazam. But that could just be fan art or something that I've been...
I've seen another one on this theory as well where the Shazam's got one A or two A's. I think I don't think that really matters. I think we can discard that whether you spell it right or not. I think it's just down to personal preference by you spell it. So I'll discard the spelling straight away if anyone jumps on it. But yeah, I don't remember this film, but I know a lot of people do.
It never existed.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
It never existed, but yeah, it's a weird one because that is definitely borrowing my memory of that existed. But I was like, did it exist? Because I'm not entirely sure if this was my actual memory or if this is being somebody. If I read something and then gone, actually that existed. I've read something and created my own memory, a false memory. I feel like I created a false memory.
Yeah, and weirdly you can't trust your own brain. Like,
yeah,
I'm like this with Tiananmen Square. Like, that guy, that tank, I know that dude. That tank, I know that dude. Like, have I made that up in my head? Because the evidence is right there in front of me saying it didn't.
It makes sense that it could have been though. You think logically goes, it's China. No one's.
But I remember the big outrage being that the tank ran him over. That was the reason the footage went worldwide because it was just so shocking that the tank just fucking did him. But then, I suppose with this as well, this is quite insidious because the Tiananmen Square footage is quite big and a major global thing if it happened the way I remember it. If it didn't happen the way I remember it, it's a dude standing up to the military might of China, but kind of fizzling out to nothing. What's the big deal? This is a bit more insidious because it makes no difference to your life or the future of mankind if this existed or didn't.
No.
But it really fucks with your head that it doesn't. And that's a bit more insidious than...
Well, yeah. When I'm trying to construct where this memory came from, because I can't remember, knowing that there isn't a movie, My brain's now trying to put things into an order, going, how did you get to this conclusion?
So you're
now burning.
But now you're rearranging your memory. So
Yeah,
your memory might not be real now because you're rearranging it with facts that aren't from the memory.
No, so my brain's trying to.
You're doctoring your memory essentially right now.
Well, my brain isn't going. It isn't saying let's doctor the memory. It's trying to construct where it came from and how I came to the conclusion that I'm in. My logical brain, part of my logical brain now, is going, if we know this doesn't exist, even the person who did the movies come out and said it didn't exist, how did you get to the conclusion? My brain's trying to rewire itself, going, if it doesn't exist, how did you get there? And all I can think of is that I've created a false memory based upon somebody else telling me it was real.
But, so this is, kind of comes down to the crux of the Mandela Effect, is that you remember that, and someone's told you it wasn't real, and that's you going, oh fuck it, what? But this is why I get all the Mandela Effect is that someone says this and you go, oh, I remember it differently. Oh, right, this is Mandela Effect. But you remembered it that way, the same as thousands of other people did.
But it can also come from a single source, though. So if a single source has created some fan art, it only takes one source, and in the same way that rumour starts about someone dying, I heard about Sean Connery dying years before he died. It only takes one thing, false news, false advert, something that gets put out there and everyone goes, whoa, have you seen this shit? And it just becomes part of their consciousness.
Yeah, I mean, I remember quite, I'm going to go on a tangent, but quite a funny story. I went back to the estate we grew up on for the first time in like 12 years, a couple of years back. And went into the Corpon estate, and you know the Corpon estate, it's always local people that live nearby that grew up. It's like fucking, I think the woman who served me, we went to school together with. I'm not going to say names, because of course I'm not, but we both know she's in our year at school. And I just went in, I'm going to visit mum and that, and I'm going to get some milk and I get some baccy and whatnot. So went to the counter, put milk down, I'll have a box of baccy and all that, and she's like, fuck are you doing here? Like, going to the shop. Like, no, you got stabbed and died in October last year. Did I?
Shit, someone needs to tell me.
And it turns out like everyone we went to school with on that estate that still live on the estate thought I died a year ago getting stabbed. I've never been in that pub.
No months to go.
I've never gone in that pub, but there was this whole story going on for 12 months that I'd been stabbed and died in that pub. Like, I don't know who got stabbed and died in there, but everyone thought it was me.
I reckon it's a story that your parents perpetuated because I spoke to them. Dad said,
oh yeah, I got stabbed, he's dead.
Dead.
But no, actually people thought that the entire estate we grew up on, like, I won't say lifelong friends, but people have known us all our lives kind of thing. And like, I just get in like, you're dead. Am I?
It doesn't help that you changed your name on Facebook so they can't find the old person either.
No, this was before I changed my name.
Oh, was it?
This was before I changed my name, yeah. But yeah, they were just like, no, you're dead. No, I'm not. And it was people that, you know, the people that we grew up with, our mutual friends, were kind of grown apart from and not speak to and stuff. And yeah, it was just like, not spoke to anyone went to school in like 10 years or something, but apparently I got stopped and killed in a pub.
I'm telling you, some mum and dad.
So yeah, so is that a Mandela Effect?
No, that's just gossip. But it can, that's what I'm
But
saying.
you see what I mean? It creates that false memory.
It creates a memory that's not even necessarily true. A rumour can create a memory because they might go, I remember that in the news. You know, all it takes is someone to go, I remember that being in the news about you, and it's like, then it becomes an implanted memory that they create themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's that not confirmation bias, but that kind of group mentality of like, but don't know, but I'm sure I read it. Don't you remember being in Yorkshire Evening Post? Yeah, I remember, because you don't sound like an idiot. Yeah. So you go, no, you don't want to call your mate out for being an idiot or being stupid. So you go, I remember it in paper as well, even though you don't, but you kind of buy into the story. And
it happens all the time. So you in a group, someone will be so certain.
It's kind of group thinking.
Someone will be so certain
that the rest of the group will follow.
You're 50-50, and someone's like, no, this is definitely what happened. It's like, alright, okay.
Well, they're definite. I'm 50-50, but they're definite. They must be right.
And that now becomes your memory very quickly.
So yeah, next I'm gonna go while we're keeping the whole thing of people remembering things differently. King Henry VIII's portrait.
Yeah. To be honest, I saw this and I just overlooked it because I honestly don't have an opinion. I don't remember either side of it.
I never really thought about this until it came up in my research, where it was like, I remember that in a school textbook.
So do you want to tell people what it is first?
Yeah, so there's a famous portrait of King Henry VIII standing up in the black and white, like paddy, whatever you call that costume is in, and he's holding a turkey leg. Apparently we're never holding a turkey leg in that picture.
What is it holding?
It's not holding anything.
Because for me, it sounds utterly ridiculous that he was holding a turkey leg. Why in the blue fuck would you, as a king, get a portrait holding a turkey leg?
I remember, I don't know why, but as soon as I saw this in this last week, researching it, and I sat and went, I remember that from the school textbook. It's never popped up in my life before, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, like, I saw that image and some deep dive into my memory just went, there it is, remember it, we see it, there it is. And I remember thinking at the time, like, you're going, oh, why would hold a turkey leg? And I was thinking, I remember at the time looking at it and thinking that was, I remember thinking, or my teacher explained it, that he was holding a turkey leg to show like his wealth and his gluttony, that he could afford to stand there with his like people are starving and people are not food, but he's the king and he's got food.
Why can't you just hold a bag of gold? Or
because people can't eat gold.
Yeah, no, but it's like I can buy 65 turkey legs.
Yeah, but he was kind of always in this resplendent garb. Right. It was in this resplendent garb and in this resplendent setting, and he's holding a turkey leg as a sign. And I remember I can't remember if my teacher said it, or I remember thinking that's a fucking big dick energy moment. That's like a massive flex. Like I've got turkey dickheads. You know, you're all fucking scrabbling for scraps, and I've got this shit. And I remember that turkey leg being in the picture, but I've never thought of that picture until I saw it.
For me, that sounds like it's a tough one, that, because you could easily create a false recollection.
Yeah. Oh, easily. I admit that I could be, but it's like it's not something that's come to my brain before or something I've thought before. Because what the fuck do I think of anything apart from like the War of the Roses, you know, white rose all the way.
Find the least back to
But it's not, apart from War of Roses, I don't really think about the Tudors or all like that, about everyday life and whatnot. But then I saw the picture like, no, I remember that from school. I remember that being in a textbook at school.
Could that just be a false, it feels like a false recollection, because it's not something that you've gone every day I know this. Like if you see something in a movie that you've seen 10 times like Star Wars, where you can simply go, that's fucking bullshit.
He does not have a silver fucking leg!
Yes, exactly.
He does not have a silver fucking leg! I've watched that film a million times, I've had all the fucking toys, he does not have a silver fucking leg.
If I'm seeing a picture once, 10 years ago, it's very easy where you can go, do you know that's false recollection?
Yeah, it is, but this is where I'm a bit on the fence with this one, because I'm kind of like, as soon as I saw it, I like, boom, instantly remembered this school memory, and I'm like, there's memory at Lawnswood, and I'm like, yeah, no, I remember it being like that, but I am wondering if that's a tainted memory, isn't there? We're telling you we used to hold a turkey leg, and you're going, yeah, I remember that picture. When you see the picture, you recognise it.
It's a very subtle difference.
And you go, yeah, but I remember it with a turkey leg. Yeah, I do. And it's like, is that because I actually genuinely do remember him with it, or is that I'm spent a week researching Mandela Effect and it's turning my bias and I'm starting to go down a rabbit hole here? So I'm like, yeah, I remember that now.
I remember a rabbit leg. I don't know.
But you know what I mean? It is that kind of like, am I buying into this theory and now my brain's starting to remember things? Because your brain is your own worst enemy at fucking times. Look at depression.
So we do another one.
Go on. What's next?
I'm gonna leave just because, and we're gonna go for this one because of the message you sent me today, and I went, "You big Mandela."
I think it was 2 days ago. I think it was. I said it, but yeah. You Mandela'd me in my message.
Yeah. So you sent me so basically.
So let's say actually in the context of the message, we was talking about the YouTube channel. At the time of filming this, we've got 2 videos up.
Yes.
I think we've got 6 in the vault.
This will be the 6th in the vault.
This will be the 6th one in the vault. This is where we're filming episode 6 while episode 2's up and live. And I was saying like, oh, what about like the views we've got? And obviously we're looking at the new channel. We're looking at the views.
We don't have many, so fucking sort us out.
We're looking at the views and seeing how we're going and what we can do and talk about how we can get it. And I said, don't worry about it. We've got something good here. I think we've got something great. Don't worry about the views straight away. Build it and they will come. Let's build the channel and the views will come. But I said, build it and they will come. And you went, ha, dickhead, you be Mandela.
Yes. Yes. So, Field of Dreams.
Amazing Kevin Costner. Hey, everyone says it's a Kevin Costner film. Right?
Well, he's a star, the lead.
I always think of it as a James Earl Jones film.
He's as important.
I think he's the biggest star in it. Like, Kevin Costner's just there as a narrative device. It's James Earl Jones as the story and the. But yeah, anyway.
I am your father.
That's 2 that he's in.
Yeah, it's him.
It's James Earl Jones. He's the Mandela Effect.
We need to fucking link it to him somehow. So in Field of Dreams, Kevin Costner says, "Build it," and he.
No. He's sat one night just about dusk.
Yes.
It's day twilight. He's sat looking over his cornfield as a farmer.
You do it.
And he hears this whisper on the wind that says, "Build it and he will come. Build it and they will come." And he's like, "What? What?" And I think it happens a couple of times. Build it, and then the whole film is the town thinking he's crazy because he just wipes out an entire field of crops that he needs because his farm's on its arse.
To build a baseball field.
And he wipes out a whole field of corn or something like that to build a baseball field. And when he builds it, out the corn come all these ghosts of baseball legends. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not a big baseball fan. We're not American, sorry, but
we've got cricket. That'll do me.
yeah. So it's baseball legends, so I'm assuming kind of like Babe Ruth type thing and whatnot. The names mean naught to me, but and then all these players come out and play baseball, and these ghosts come and play, and he sits and watches them, and no one else can see them. If I remember it rightly.
I can't remember.
Him and his kid just watching, his wife's going, "What? You've got fucking nuts, what you doing?" And there's like him and his kid watching these ghosts play, these legends playing baseball, and
they want some ayahuasca stuff.
Yeah. And his wife's going, "I'm fucking get the doctor up here now." That's an empty field. My husband and my kid are laughing at they've seen all the ghosts, and then it ends where his dad come out onto the field and speaks to him, and then James Earl Jones just walks off into the corn with him and dies. No, that's the thing, like...
I just think it's Star Wars every time you say James Earl
Yeah,
Jones.
but...
Or Coming to America, either one.
But, yeah, so the point is, the line is, build it and they will come, because all these ghosts of baseball legends come and play on his field every night. And then I think 2 or 3 come, and then more and more come every night. All the other ghosts are like, "Dudes, we've got a pitch, let's go." But the Mandela Effect is, build it and he will come.
The build it for his father.
Which is mean his father's coming. And that makes sense in the context, but they come as well.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying previously about life is like a box of chocolates.
Mm-hmm.
Or life was like a box of chocolates. When you see, if one person came, you'd say he will come, makes sense. It's singular.
Yeah.
But our brains looks at a plural, looks at loads of them coming. So it's like, if you build it, they'll come. They'll come. You know, it's I just think, again, this is just one of those where internet memes have all got it wrong. And that doesn't really help when people read an internet meme. But because they play a big part in this Mandela Effect as internet, which we'll talk about, I'm sure. But I just think, it's our brains going, I'm seeing on screen more than one, and he's saying one, but my eyes are seeing something, so my brain's saying it has to be more than one.
No, but for me, when it's build it and he will come, I think I've not seen this film in about 20 fucking years. I probably should have watched it before we filmed this episode, but I remember it's didn't they have like 2 or 3 people on the pitch for a game, like having a warm up, and then there's 4 or 5 goals the next day, then 7 or 8 the next day.
Still more than one.
And then they come out with full team and stuff, and it's over like 2 months he's watching these ghosts come every night, and then at sunrise he goes, "See you, Paul, thanks for the field," and then it's like 20 or 30 games they've been playing, then his dad turns up. So it's still day will come. It's still, you need them to be there for his dad to get there.
Yeah, but it's all, to say he will come, if you build it and he will come, it's a case, there's all sorts of other movies where, or all sorts of other parts of life where lots of things have to happen for you to get to the point of where you want to
Yeah, you need all them to appear for his dad to appear.
Yeah.
And
So,
but also it's like, oh yeah, he will come, so he'll speak to you, and your dad will speak to you, consort, so you get some kind of closure, don't you, from his dad's death and their relationship and whatnot. And it's a brilliant, fantastic film. But then that he will come, and because like, well, either one, you didn't need all those baseball players there, you didn't need those legends there, they had nothing to the.
they were just there going, woohoo, got a field, got a
Right.
field.
One, your dad's a fucking dick, because why didn't you just come first? And why you had to put yourself into nearly economic ruin?
He needed the psychokinetic energy. Ghostbusters experienced. He needed
Yeah.
psychokinesis. And
Your dad's a dick and make you put your farm in almost absolute ruin just to say, I'm proud of you, son, I did love you. And what the fuck is that thing with James Earl Jones? He's alive and just walks into a corner and he's dead now.
Right, okay.
Where's his body?
Let's not try and make sense
Sorry.
of it. Deconstructing shit movies is going to be a different YouTube channel. We're talking about a line. For me personally, I can completely understand why he and they change, because someone's looking at many on screen.
You've seen all these legends come in. These are not just like, oh, it's not like the 1938 New York Mets or whatever. This is like legendary baseball players over the last 100 years or something stupid. You know, you get to see the ghosts of baseball players that they'd be like the ultimate dream team that you'd never get to see because they were 50 years apart or something stupid. So to me, it's they. But I can see why build it and he will come as your father, but then they come because people change it to they because you see all these legends that were never.
So for me, I can see this is quite an easy one. It's not like some of the others, which are really difficult to explain. If I try to put things into a logical perspective, what my eyes and brain see is more than one, and therefore they makes more sense than he.
Yeah, I mean, I don't buy your explanation on Forrest Gump, because is his grammatically correct? Was he just grammatical nonsense?
However, he could have been writing it because he's selling.
No, I don't. I know what people play. I don't buy it. But this I can see as building he will come, and then there's a dozen ghosts before his dad turns up, so the collective consciousness has changed he for they. I can buy that. That makes more sense than the shit you're peddling on Forrest Gump.
Hey, I'm trying to I didn't say I bought it. I'm just trying to give an explanation. I have to try. I say stuff on this channel which I don't even believe because I have to try and think of the side of the story.
There's a lot of times I play devil's advocate just for the sake of the story and stuff, but yeah, that you know that Forrest Gump explanation, what bollocks. But I can buy this one.
I can fucking belt you in a minute.
Keeping Realties movies.
Okay.
Tom Cruise's Risky Business.
You're going to have to tell me because I don't know.
I don't remember the film,
Well, that's a shit one then.
but I remember the scene.
Okay.
And the scene's been parodied so many times. But he comes out in like pants and a shirt and socks and just slides into the doorway and starts dancing.
Oh, yeah.
You know the scene.
Yeah.
You don't know the film, but you know the scene.
And the thing is, I'm going to be careful here because you could tell me anything and then that will become part of my memory because I don't fucking remember it very well at all. I'd have to YouTube it.
But this was a 1983 classic, so we were like 2 when it came out.
So I remember it well.
But he dances around in a collared shirt, white fronts and socks, right? And it's that favourite scene where he slides in and starts singing and stuff. We all know the scene. It's been parodied so many times. But he was wearing sunglasses, he was wearing white socks, white fronts, white shirt and sunglasses, and he slides in and starts singing. Apparently we're never wearing sunglasses.
I honestly don't remember.
I've never seen the film, to be fair. I know the scene because it's been parodied so much.
Is that the problem?
Right? So I think the problem on this one, this is why I'm going to debunk this one, is that the scene... I know the scene. I don't know the film, but I know the scene because of all the parodies and people copying it and stuff.
Yeah.
Every parody is wearing sunglasses. Now, do I remember the scene? Well, I don't remember the scene, but is that scene because he's wearing sunglasses? Do we collectively, as a race, as a species, remember him wearing sunglasses because all the parodies have it?
Let's be honest.
Or do the parodies wear sunglasses because he did?
Or alternatively, is it likely that you're going to have seen a 2-minute parody scattered for years and
I
years?
don't think it's 2 minutes. I think it's like a 30-second scene.
Well, if someone parodies that 50 times...
And they're wearing sunglasses. First person parody and wears sunglasses. The next person wears sunglasses. The next one, the next 50 wear sunglasses. We remember that scene with sunglasses now.
Yeah.
Although he never wore them.
But you don't even necessarily, as you said, you've not watched the movie, but you've seen the scene.
Yeah.
But that scene can take because of parodies, it can take a whole...
Yeah. I don't think this is a Mandela Effect. And I only put this in just as a case of where some things are Mandela Effects, like C-3PO's fucking sold the leg, and other things like this are just that someone parodied the scene. It was an iconic scene. Someone parodied it and wore sunglasses in it. So everybody else that's parodied the scene after has worn sunglasses. So now we equate sunglasses with the original scene where you never wore them.
I agree.
So I thought I'd put this in as an important point to go, this isn't so much a Mandela Effect, this is a collective consciousness thing.
I've got another one as well, which will definitely dovetail into this one. Sally Field's Oscar acceptance speech.
I love you. You like me, you really like me.
Yeah.
Is that the one? Yeah.
Yeah. So, people remember her saying, "You like me, you really like me." What she actually said was, "I can't deny the fact that you like me right now. You like me."
Mm-hmm.
The "you like me, you really like me" phrase comes from The Mask with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
So people.
But he's parodying her speech.
Yeah, but not. He's not paraphrasing. He's doing
no, he's parodying it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people recollect from The Mask, Jim Carrey saying, "You like me, you really like me."
Yeah, he does that, and people are going, "Oh, that's Sally Fields. That's the joke."
Yeah.
And
but that's not what she said.
no,
that's what people recollect now because they've taken something that from a movie from Jim Carrey, and taken it as a fact.
This is similar. It's not what I've got in my notes, but this is similar things I knew were going to come up. Is William Shatner never said "beam me up, Scotty"?
I know, and that took me by surprise because I always thought he did.
But it was always Scotty 2 to beam up, Scotty 3 to beam up, but it was just that "beam me up, Scotty" came from a parody, I think, and it just kind of went, yeah, that's something he says. He says that.
Yeah. They've taken the piss out of themselves and said "beam me up, Scotty" since
then they have.
Yeah. I've got, and it took me by surprise. Realised because.
Which Star Trek Generation versus "beam me up, Scotty"?
And
he goes, "Oh, he's not there, is he anymore?" Oh, I don't. Maybe not Generation. I think it's the new Star Trek, the Kelvin timeline with Chris Pine and Simon Pegg.
I don't know.
Where they said "beam me up, Scotty," I think.
But
do they throw that in just because it's?
I've definitely seen them taking the piss out of themselves. Saying,
yeah.
And William Shatner said "beam me up, Scotty," and it's taking the piss a bit.
Yeah.
After the fact.
And it's that thing as well that I think someone did the math. I'm going to go off on a bit of a tangent, but someone did the math. And you're statistically more likely to survive if you're a red shirt on original track.
Alright.
But we have this thing that, oh, he's got a red shirt, he's going to die this week. But you're more statistically, if you look at people in the colour uniforms that are in the original track, you're more likely to survive if you're in a red shirt. Where we always think, oh, the away team red shirt, he's going to die.
Away team red shirt, definitely.
Yeah, and it's a thing like Next Generation where they mention someone by name and go, never heard his name before, he's going to be dead in half hour. And that's true, that works. But yeah, there's always thing that red shirts die in the original track. And it's you're more statistically, if you look over the entire run, you're more statistically to stay alive in a red shirt.
I'm much bigger Star Trek fan than I am.
But yeah, I think that like this "you love me, you really love me" is just kind of, like we're saying there, parodying the Tom Cruise Risky Business scene, Jim Carrey parodying Sally Field's Oscar speech, and then this kind of "beam me up, Scotty" just became a line that was made up in the public consciousness, and just kind of went, do you know what, we're gonna, it was never in Star Trek, we're gonna start using it now, and
just for fun.
And I think that's the same thing. I don't think these are Mandela effects. I think these are like Risky Business is the parody, wear the sunglasses, and then every party after wears the sunglasses.
Sally Field's the same.
Sally Fields is the same. It's Jim Carrey made that joke. That was the Oscar speech, so you knew it was Sally Fields, but it's paraphrasing and parodying it.
Yeah.
And that's become the zeitgeist now, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. One. Right, so I've got 2 more left here.
Other than spellings,
yeah, I mean, I've got a couple more with spellings and stuff, like Bernstein Bears or Bernstein Bears, or Kit Kat with a hyphen.
Coca-Cola with a hyphen or not. And stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that, which is, I don't know, we're not really, I think it's pernickety and not really worth going into. But some people remember the Statue of Liberty being in a total different location.
Wow, okay.
So the Statue of Liberty is on Liberty Island.
Yeah.
And while I'm the first person to admit I'm shit on geography, but I always thought the Statue of Liberty was on Ellis Island.
I don't know either way. My geography's even worse than yours.
But yeah, and there's some photos of people online on Ellis Island, but there's no behind them and stuff like that. So this kind of goes into your theory earlier of that when something changes in reality, it gets deleted, the material gets deleted. So there's people posing on Ellis Island and steps going to nowhere. But yeah, I always thought it was on Ellis Island. I didn't even know Liberty Island existed until I started researching this topic.
I just know the place where it is on the way to New York is the place I expected it to be. I've never thought it could be anywhere else.
I know the Statue of Liberty was a gift from the French.
It was?
It used to be bronze, but it's gone green over time, and it was on Ellis Island because that's where all the immigrants came in and saw the liberties that came to Ellis Island, and the Irish and stuff went through immigration checks in the 20s. And
I mean, I don't know how they moved the Statue of Liberty around.
No, they haven't moved it. It was never on Ellis Island.
No, but what I mean is, was there when they brought the Statue of Liberty over, did they take it directly to where it is and build it there?
No, I think I remember it coming in by tugboat.
So it could have had more than one location before it was planted.
None of that has always been in America on Ellis Island, because Ellis Island is where you come into New York on, like in the 1920s and stuff, when all the Irish immigrants came in and whatnot. They came in through Ellis Island, and that's where they got the papers to live in America and stuff. And it was Lady Liberty guided you to Ellis Island. Apparently she's never been on this island. She's always been on Liberty Island, which I'd never heard of until this week.
Has that been renamed? Is it two different locations?
It's so you've got Ellis Island, and off to the side of it you've got Liberty Island, with just the statue on.
Right.
But no, it's always been Lady Liberty welcomes the Irish into Ellis Island, where they get the papers and stuff. Not she's off to the side over there somewhere.
Oh God, this is only burning your brain, because I don't know.
Yeah, this really freaked me out. Like, no, she's always been like, she was the Irish were fleeing to America, and Lady Liberty welcomed them to Ellis Island. And, they docked at Ellis Island, but yeah, apparently and I didn't know that she's on Liberty. Apparently she's on Liberty Island, but I'd never heard of Liberty Island until this week. So that's really fucking.
You're having a conversation with no one here.
Yeah, no, I'm having a conversation with no one here. But anyone else in the comments, please back me up.
I'm just nodding because I don't know. I have got no idea about this at all.
And the last one I've got is a little hark back to last week's episode with the moon landings.
Ooh, okay.
Neil Armstrong.
Yes.
Good luck, Mr. Gorski.
Yes.
Do you remember that line?
That's what he said.
Yeah. Do you know why he said it? Actually, no, that's what he said. Never said it.
Did he say that to Capcom?
Apparently, as he was getting back into the lander, so he did comes down, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Does the moonwalk, goes back in, and as he's going back.
Not the Michael Jackson moonwalk.
No. But as he's going back up the steps, he says, "Good luck, Mr. Gorski." Apparently, he never said it.
What?
Yeah. There is no evidence of Neil Armstrong saying, "Good luck, Mr. Gorski."
To be fair, I've only probably seen it in transcript or someone's transcript?
There's no transcript from NASA. We were saying Mr. Gorski. This is, from my research, it seems to be a kind of internet joke that was attributed to Neil, and then people kind of picked up on it and it went viral and they liked it, and it's become that kind of, this is funny and great, and it's a wholesome story, so we'll believe it's true, we'll pass it along. But yeah, there's actually no evidence he ever said, good luck, Mr. Gorski.
I thought that he radioed that in to Capcom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the context of why he said it, but he radioed into Capcom saying, "Good luck," just before they left the moon.
Yeah, just before he left the moon, he said it. I think either just after his first moonwalk or just as leaving the moon, he said it.
So I thought it was just before he left the moon he said it. I don't know the context of why it was said, or even what the in-joke is, but...
So apparently the story is, about 10, 11 years old, Neil Armstrong was playing catch or ball in his yard, whatever.
Right.
And the ball went over into the neighbour's garden. And he climbed over the fence to get his ball back before the neighbours saw him. And he heard Mr. and Mrs. Mrs. Gorski shouting, "Oral sex, you want oral sex? You'll get oral sex when the kid next door walks on the moon." So, as he was leaving the moon, he said, "Good luck, Mr. Gorski."
You've only been waiting 30 years.
You've been waiting 30 years for your blowjob, but good luck, Mr. Gorski.
I think I should get sick of teeth out like a like a vacuum cleaner. Fucking hell.
But yeah, it's
that's got to be fake then. I mean, it wouldn't have said that.
The story came out. Apparently, the story came out 10 years after he landed on the moon. He constantly dodged questions. Why you say good luck, Mr. Gorski? Oh, you don't mind. It's no, don't worry about it. I want to talk about this, and we did this, and he just kind of moved it. And it came out like 10 years later why he said it. He thought it was quite funny, but it got a bit of a bollocking off NASA when NASA asked what because he obviously quite fucking weird. Gorski sounds like a Russian name. Are you sending some fucking coded message to commies or whatever? And he's like, no, it would just, my neighbour gets a blowjob tonight. You know, and he just thought it was funny, and that didn't fit with his clean cut, all American image. Like you can't be the spirit of America and clean cut and valedictorian, all American, white suburban picket fence. We talk about blowjobs when you're on the moon. You can't do that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean the thinking is this isn't actually a Mandela Effect. This is just
a joke.
an internet joke, an internet story that was made up. But we've all heard it so much that even though we don't like you didn't know what the context behind it say what. You just know he said it.
It's true, damn it. I heard it on the internet.
I want it to be true, and I want Mr. Gorski to have got his blowjob.
I hope he got his blowjob.
I hope Mr. Gorski got his blowjob.
Everyone deserves a blowjob.
But yeah, this is this is something that people don't. No one's really alive to remember it happening, and if we see the footage now, it's changed with like the Mandela Effect, or the footage changes it not. Is this story a kind of 4chan thing that was made up, and we were all just? It's a good wholesome story and it's fun.
A wholesome gobble.
A wholesome gobble, you know what I mean? I hope Mr. Gorski finally got what he wanted after 30 years.
So became an NFT set.
I just think it's a fun way to finish the evidence. But when I mentioned it, you went, yeah, he said good luck, Mr. Gorski.
He did.
But now I've said the story, you're going, did it? Did it really?
It probably didn't sound like something he would say.
The pinnacle of human endeavour got congratulated from a 9-year-old Jewish woman giving a blowjob.
Good luck, Mr. Gorski. Yeah. I can't imagine.
It wasn't man walking on the room, it was a Jewish woman giving a blowjob.
I just said gobble, 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 so someone's going to go, gobble, 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 good luck, Mr. Gorski. Oh dear. Right then.
I love that the pinnacle of human achievement is not man walking on the moon. It's a Jewish woman giving a blowjob. It's the pinnacle of human achievement.
Absolutely. And if you waited 30 years, it'll be the best thing he's ever had.
I thought that was a fun way to end the evidence.
I don't anymore. So there are hundreds more, literally.
Oh God, we could go like we mentioned Kit Kat and Bernstein Bears.
And
there's
Ford,
Curious George,
Cheetos.
There's so many. We'd be here all fucking night.
And to be fair, it's fucking late. You don't know the time.
Yeah.
It's late enough.
I think we've covered enough to give some substance to what we're talking about.
Yeah. Before we start going into some possible explanations, one thing for fun, you can take an online test about the
how you been Mandelaed?
How deep you are in the Mandela hole. It's called www.alternatememories.com/test-yourself.
Yeah, beyond that.
When I went into this, it's asking me some really obscure questions, and it said, "You are deep in the Mandela hole." So I suppose I am very much Mandela according to this website.
Did you take it on a Saturday?
No, I took it on Thursday.
Oh, right, I just went to the Mandela holes, a different holes of the K hole, you know what I mean, on a Saturday.
On the double hole. But go test yourself and see if you've been Mandelaed. The one thing I do want to say before we go talk about some explanations is people were saying that it was the 1980s where they got the idea or the thought that Nelson Mandela had died in prison. So I was trying to find something around Nelson Mandela. Now, do you remember when Freddie Mercury died and they had that big concert at Wembley in his name, and we had like George Michael, everyone came out with John, and it's just like here's something in the memory of Freddie Mercury, and then we had Live Aid for this is it basically we're doing it for something. This it's for someone, it's for something, it's for an event. People are dying, this, that, and the other. Well, in 1988, on June the 11th, 1988, at Wembley Stadium, they had a 70th birthday tribute, but it wasn't his 70th birthday.
Right.
Nelson Mandela was still in prison, but they held this big concert for him.
Is this where we got the song Free Nelson Mandela?
I think so.
I'm really shit at singing. I'm sorry you had to experience that,
but it's also referred to as the Freedom Fest or the Free Nelson Mandela concert. But it went to 600 million people around the world.
Right.
Okay, so it was broadcast. Now, normally when you see one of these events and the person
someone's deceased,
someone dead or something's happened to them. So
yeah, like the Freddie Mercury tribute concert that raised money for AIDS because that's what he died of, or.
And the only thing I can think of is if people have seen this concert and taken it out of context, not knowing what it was for.
I think I'm going to hijack your point here, but I think if people have seen 2-3 concerts in a row that are kind of benefit concerts, I think is the right word for them.
Well, let's not look. Freddie Mercury wasn't until 1991.
No, but you've got benefit concerts
in
terms of like, Freddie Mercury's died, we're doing this in terms of AIDS, so-and-so's died, we're doing this in terms of this.
And you've got Live Aid and all sorts of things.
Yeah, and Live Aid wasn't for anyone dead. Live Aid was for family in Africa and stuff.
But it wasn't for someone who's there alive in the stadium, It
was for people who are dying today, let's stop them from dying. So if you've seen these benefit concerts and you relate them to someone who's dead, and you've got a free Nelson Mandela concert or benefit from Nelson Mandela.
Tribute birthday to his 70th birthday.
So a tribute birthday, we've seen all these concerts where people have died and we have a concert in their memory to raise money for something around them, then it quite easily be mistaken for, he died at 65 but this would have been his 70th birthday, so we're going to have a concert to raise money for something that was close to him.
But this is the closest I can get, in the same way that where we could say we're having a conversation where, did you see that Mandela concert? Yeah, it was brilliant. But was that because he was dead? And you don't know, but it's like, I'm pretty certain he's dead.
Yeah. I mean, all the concerts nowadays, when you've got someone's name on a concert, it's cost the dead and they're raising money for, You know, Freddie Mercury died so they raised money for AIDS. Mandela died so they raised money for South Africa.
So it could easily be a case of someone goes, well, what's it? I don't really know the context. I don't know how it advertised.
It's association memory. Like you associate a benefit concert with death, therefore he must have been dead.
But this is the closest.
And they're like, oh, he sent his birthday concert. Yeah, because he'd have been 70 today, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and he wasn't free.
If he was still alive, he'd be 70 today.
Because he wasn't free.
No.
At that point, so still in prison. So this is the closest. So I was trying to think of why would people in the 80s think he was dead? And this is the closest thing I could think of is the big concert in his name.
Yeah.
It's not being seen.
Yeah, he's not in the public eye. You know, it's like, oh no, he's still alive. Yeah, you're telling us that, but you won't let us see him. And
so I just think potentially, not for everybody, because I think it could have gone its own arms and legs, but potentially this could be the reason why people think he might die.
No, do you know what? I can completely buy that theory. Post-event information is information that you learn after an event that can change your memory of an event. So this is where you talk about pulling a memory up and overwriting it.
Yeah.
This includes event subtle information and helps to explain why eyewitness testimony can be unreliable.
Massively unreliable. Yeah. So many people on death row in America through eyewitness testimony that you cannot know for certain at all.
And the third one I've got is priming.
Priming?
So priming describes the factors leading up to an event that affects our perception of it. Also called suggestibility or presupposition. Priming is the difference between asking how short a person is versus how tall a person is. Saying, did you see the black car?
Oh, yeah.
Instead of saying a black car makes a subtle suggestion that influences response and memory. So if I go, did you see a black car tonight? No, I don't think I did. Oh, did you see the black car tonight? Oh yeah, I saw the black car.
Because it was definitely there, because you said the black car.
I said the black car, not a black car, so you see that.
Yeah.
So these are all priming, post-event information and confabulation are all things that can be put to the Mandela Effect. You know, we have gaps, confabulation or gaps in our memory that mirror on the wall is something we remember being taught. You know, so it's confabulation, our brains filling gaps in. Pre-event information is going, well, it's always been mirror. It's always been magic mirror, so like we're rejecting that. And priming is going, well, do you know when it says magic mirror in Snow White, remember that? Rather than going, what does the evil queen say to the mirror? Or she says mirror, or priming a bit, do you remember when the queen says magic mirror?
That's why they can't use that in questioning.
Mm-hmm. Because it's like you're leading the witness and stuff in court. So that I thought that were important to bring out. The way there's 3 different ways that memory work.
Well, I want to just go a little bit more on false memory before we go on to more, because I found this as being really interesting. So when we're talking about creating a false memory, there's you may not know, but there's something called the Bologna railway station clock. So
I know what you're on about.
Okay.
But I can't remember it.
in the
this is the train station, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's a railway station, so yeah. So
wasn't it not blown up?
Kind of. So in the 1980s, a terrorist bomb at Bologna railway station in Italy briefly stopped the main station clock. It was repaired and worked normally for many years. And when it stopped due to ordinary mechanical failures, we decided then to leave the clock broken and set
it's too expensive to repair.
And just set its hands to the time the bomb exploded years earlier as like a monument.
That's a nice touch. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah.
So, but what happened next is extraordinary.
We can't afford to repair it, so we'll just move the hands round to the minute this terrorist attack happened, and that's a constant memorial. Yeah. That's nice.
So, but what happened next is extraordinary. People who had been using the station for years, including staff, were then sure the clock had been stopped the entire time. They'd never even seen it work. A detailed study was conducted and it was found to be an early instance of collective false memory, or what we call today the Mandela Effect. Mm-hmm. So the clock worked for a while, then it stopped on its own, put it back to the normal time, and even staff there was like, well, that's been stopped the whole time. So that was a collective false memory for everybody.
This is kind of I can't remember the name. It's someone please put in the comments below because someone's going to know this. It's the I'm going to say London Zoo, even though I know I'm wrong, but it's the monkey. Let's say monkeys at London Zoo, right? And they had a tree that kind of hung over that they could climb it and get out of. So they put a little like a taser box in. So if they climbed the tree, they got electrocuted and fell out of it. And as the generation monkeys went on, they moved them on, because conservation programs, you move them on and pass about. So they ended up with a generation monkeys where they bring a new monkey in, and he'd go to climb the tree, and the monkeys would pull him like, no, you don't go up there, you get hurt. Even though none of the monkeys had ever been electrocuted by the tree, and the box was no longer there.
Learned behaviour though, that wasn't it?
That was learnt behaviour that, you don't go up there, you get hurt. This is kind of similar in that, like, the clock stopped the minute the bomb went off, the clock stopped. Even though it went on for years after, it was just, I think it's kind of hopefulness and romanticism.
I see it as, like me, now, especially in the age when we've got phones, I don't pay attention to my environment at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more interested in things I'm interested in to fill the journey where I'm going than paying attention to my environment.
Yeah. But what year was this in though?
1980s.
So we didn't have.
No.
You're not sat at your phone playing fucking match 3 games and shit and whatever on your phone.
No, correct. But at the same time, though, clearly they've seen it. Just got to the end. In the same. Well, try to put this into English. So there was an event. It blew up. They knew what time it blew up. The clock's worked the whole time. We got to the end, and they've just gone. I probably saw it working 500 times, but
it's always been that. It's always been on that minute though, hasn't it? And why is the clock wrong? Oh, because that's when the bomb blew up. That makes sense.
It must have been there the whole time.
Must have been there the whole time. I'm sure I remember it. No, it must have been.
And what we were saying before, when we were like, you have a conversation, go, well, I'm not really sure, but then someone goes, no, that's what.
I don't think this is collective forced memory. I think this is collective buying into the narrative.
Either way, it's a great explanation.
Yeah, either way, it's like, it's always been that way, therefore I'll buy that narrative. I might have been wrong. I'm sure I remember it working. No, I must be wrong. If nobody else remembers it not working, then I must be wrong in it. And
so, but just before
it's kind of like a confirmation bias.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I'm going to come to the next part, and I'll tell you all about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about one of the things that I think happens a lot to a lot of people because they can't wrap their brain around something, and that's cognitive dissonance.
Cognitive dissonance is, I think, this needs to be something that we were taught this in school. I was taught this in university. I didn't know about cognitive until I went to university. I think this is something that should be taught in school. We live in an age of social media and fake news, and I was like we should. I think at high school level we should be taught what cognitive dissonance is.
Correct. So it's very simple that if you've got a belief or a memory, and someone, in the same way that we're going through today, we're fucking this silver lake.
Yeah.
If someone offers you evidence that contradicts your belief structure, your memories, and you fight that and go, that is not true, that's cognitive dissonance. And I see it a lot in faith, I see it a lot in the world, and this is something that happens to a vast majority of people on the earth, and they don't even know they're doing it, where you believe something wholeheartedly, you have a memory that's so deeply implanted that I go, I've got evidence that all that is wrong, and you fight it.
I think Tim Minchin says it best in one of his songs, where he says, and I fucking love Tim Minchin by the way, but he says in one of his songs that science is the observation of knowledge so that knowledge can be preserved. Faith is a denial of knowledge so that faith can be preserved. Knowledge is observation so that science can be observed, whereas faith is the denial of knowledge so that faith can be preserved.
I get what you mean.
It's somewhat like that anyway, but yeah, and it is that's cognitive dissonance in a nutshell. That is like, I have my belief, I have my rhetoric, I have my dogma and my understanding. And anything that agrees with it, I'll accept and I will put into my argument and I will fight in order of it. Anything that doesn't agree with my narrative, I will ignore. And this is where this goes on to flat earthers, anti-vaxxers, COVID deniers, whatever subject you want to fucking pick. That
I'm one of those three.
Yeah, but it goes on those.
And it's not flat
Earth. But no, it's that thing of like, oh well, this evidence backs up my argument. Yeah, but you're taking one bit of evidence to back up your argument. I've got 99 bits of evidence that disagree with you. No, they're not important. I'm not listening. I'm listening to this one bit of evidence here, and that's cognitive dissonance.
Well, it's very simple. I've got a belief. You give me evidence to discount my belief, and I simply go, I'm not going to listen because my brain cannot understand that you're going to change my belief system.
We've shown a lot of cognitive dissonance tonight, where this entire channel is based around show us evidence and we will change our opinion. And we've got evidence that C3PO's always had a silver leg, and we're going, no, he didn't. Well, that's cognitive dissonance right there.
Well, the thing is, I'll bow to my cognitive dissonance, you know. I'll bow to it because the evidence is there. Even though
if you're aware of your cognitive dissonance, then you can kind of fight it in a way.
Well, I don't want to conclude yet. One, sorry about that, guys. Battery died.
Our camera caught there for some fucking reason.
So we're talking cognitive dissonance and C3PO's off leg. So again, I don't want to get to my conclusion very quickly, but I will have to bow on C3PO's, even though my brain is going, this is nonsense. The things I see with my eyes are C3PO's.
But you know that's your cognitive dissonance.
Yeah,
you're aware that that's what it is.
Even though it doesn't sit right, it doesn't feel right, and I think it smells like shit, I can see he's got a silver leg on my own eyes. So I read some people on some blogs and stuff about the Mandela Effect for them personally, and they were saying they recollect 100%, no equivocation whatsoever, certain things happening in a certain way. Their mind is set about their personal life, and then they found contradictory evidence, photo evidence, about what they staunchly remember without failure, first-hand accounts of what they were there and it happened.
They were there and it happened, and
they saw photo evidence which contradicts everything they thought, and they had a massive they had cognitive dissonance to the point of they couldn't even believe what they were seeing. So, and they then started questioning, well, that picture must be doctored, because they couldn't get over it.
Yeah.
They couldn't get over the fact that I believe my...
I saw that. I was there. I saw that. And
Absolutely.
This picture says different.
Yeah, and they couldn't get over it. And that was basically... And then they...
I've seen a lot of accounts about JFK with the 6-seater rather than 4-seater. And I've seen a lot of people giving eyewitness accounts going... I know we said earlier eyewitness testimony is unreliable and stuff, but... in terms of cognitive dissonance, I've seen people go, no, it was a 4-seater car that went past me. I was there, I was stood at the side of the road. I was there when JFK got shot, and well, not when he got shot, but like 2 streets up. And it was a 4-seater car that passed. And then when you see the footage, it's a 6-seater car, like that was the car I saw go past. And it's that cognitive, how do you, there's video footage there that says this is the truth. But you were there and you saw it and it wasn't. How does your brain realign that?
I think, and this is the thing, and this, I don't want this to be a light conversation. I know this is probably the deepest one we're going to have with cognitive dissonance, because it's really, really difficult and it affects people in a huge thing. But cognitive dissonance is a big part of the Mandela Effect.
I think the hardest thing with this is that we can talk about cognitive dissonance and how it affects everyone and stuff, and we can talk about it in a general sense, but cognitive dissonance is personal. So for us to sit here and talk about like, oh, it's cognitive dissonance and just throw it away as cognitive dissonance, I don't want to do, because what you feel and what you've lived is your lived experience, it's your life, it's personal to you and it's important to you. So for 2 drunk Yorkshiremen to sit on camera and piss all over everything you think is real is not what I want to do.
No. And that's why I was saying it's important that, you know, we picked up the pop culture stuff here, but people have genuine Mandela Effect issues, personal life problems, and are having real conflict. Because we're just talking about the most popular stuff here. So,
like I said earlier, we're talking about the pop culture stuff because that's something that everyone can rally around.
Because it's funny.
It's funny and it's great. Like, we can all way around the C3PO Silver Leg. I can talk about the Tom Cruise scene and the Tiananmen Square, and you remember it differently to what I do. And it's a fun subject. But when we get to this bit where it comes to the personal, we're going to give our closing statements in a bit, and we're going to see on Does That Believe. But I think it's really important to find out, like, Does That Believe is my personal opinion, as every episode we ever do is my personal opinion whether I believe or not. But this one, I think it's really important to say that this one does not, if I believe that it is or it isn't, it doesn't negate your personal experience, it doesn't negate your life. Your life is personally belongs to you and you own it, and it's yours. My opinion on a fucking YouTube video does not fucking negate your existence, and we're not here to do that.
No, let's put it down to the point of this video is Mandela Effect. The thought of something existing, you believe something exists in one way, and you've been shown that it exists in a different way, and the idea of we're trying to say what are the possible ramifications, why does the Mandela Effect possibly exist? We could talk about cognitive dissonance for the entirety of this video, but I just wanted to say,
I think we're coming to the end of talking about it, to be honest.
I want to get to some fun parts again, just to lighten up.
No, you carry on. When you have that done, you keep talking. Well.
Right, okay. While he drops some rum. So, there's a couple of things that don't really need to be talked about, because we've already kind of talked about them. So you've got social reinforcement.
Yeah.
You know, we've got absent-mindedness. Where your brain fills in the blanks.
Yeah.
Like between one place and another, because it's so it recognises patterns and goes, well, the only way to get from there to there will be via this pattern, and we fill out those patterns. Not paying close attention. I want to get to some of the other fun stuff now. Some of the other.
Not playing close attention. We covered not playing close. I'd played with those toys, I watched those films, I would have known if C3 had a silver fucking leg. Can't tell me I was not paying close attention.
One of the other really interesting, I could have kind of had a bit of fun with this one, but it's time travellers. So the idea is that people are coming back from the past to observe the present. By observing the present changes the present, so therefore the future changes too. Just by them being here, like the butterfly effect.
Yeah, I saw this explanation and I left it out of my notes because there's a certain time travel I want to come to in a future episode.
Okay.
And for all you watching who may know, I'm talking about a certain time traveller from a country that's never existed. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay. I can quite honestly say it could happen, but we've got absolutely no evidence of time travel. The next one. I like the next one.
Go on.
The holographic universe.
Ooh! This is an interesting theory.
So the idea is that the universe that we're in is a hologram or a simulation of such as if we're the first humans, and that we're not part of this hologram, let's pretend that we are the first humans, we are going to get to the position in our civilization before we blow each other up, of AI and so on, where we can go, how did civilization start? And we will create a simulation. But to create that simulation about where things started, the people in that simulation wouldn't know that they're a simulation.
Yeah.
They get to the point of end of their simulation, they create their own simulation, they're going, well, where did we come from? And it kind of goes on and on.
We're not the first simulation, we're the 228th simulation.
Yeah.
This kind of buys into the Fermi paradox.
How many planets can habitat life?
How many planets are habitable life and why we've not seen them yet? Because to get to a certain point and they wipe themselves out. And, you know, all those areas which was the zip-zapping around the universe, we're not seeing evidence of them because they all fucking wipe themselves out. But they got to a point where before they wiped themselves, they put themselves into a matrix. And we did exactly the same. Which, this kind of ties into another theory I read. That the world ended in 2012.
Okay.
And everything since 2012 is the Matrix.
Where's the evidence?
It's all the glitches and the fuck ups. Like we didn't really become aware of all these lines, and like with Forrest Gump and C-3PO's leg and Field of Dreams and stuff, all came aware in 2012. Like it just glitches in the Matrix that we're in a simulation. We weren't aware that we're in a simulation, and the world ended in 2012. And because the world ended, there's this self-righting mechanism that just kept our consciousness and put it into some kind of simulation.
It is very Matrix.
It is very Matrix. I don't quite believe in it, but it kind of goes to the holographic universe. Is very similar to the world ending in 2012 theory. Then we're on a simulation still.
I like this one. I'm going to read it word for word because I won't do it justice unless I do. It's only 6 lines. So projections from a higher dimension is one of the other theories. So if
we're going Anunnaki.
if you project light from an n-dimensional world to a lower world, it appears in the lower one as if it had lost a dimension. An example would be shining a torch on a 3D ball creates a shadow on the wall which has gone from 3D to 2D.
Yeah. Okay.
So, what would a projection into our 3D world from a 4D world look like? Following the same logic, the maths shows, it would appear as a solid object. So from a 4D to a 3D, would be in a 3D world. Since we can't interact or be aware of the 4th dimension, just as inhabitants of a flatland can't interact with the 3rd dimension, it may be possible our 3D world is entirely made up of these higher dimensional projections. So we are nothing more than continuous projections from a 4D world.
But isn't the 4th dimension... So 3 dimension is height, breadth and width.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't the 4th dimension time?
I thought we'd found 7 or 8 dimensions already.
Yeah, but it's generally considered the 4th dimension is time.
I think it means it's in a different way. I think it's just trying to show...
We can observe time, we can see time, we can observe it, therefore we live in a 4th dimensional world. We have height, breadth and width.
But time is a man-made construct.
No, time is a natural construct. The measurement of time is a man-made construct. Putting time into 24 hours a day, 6 seconds a minute, 60 minutes an hour, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, that's a man-made construct. That's a way of man measuring time. It's like saying, oh, we measure gravity in newtons. Well, gravity is a man-made construct because man made the scale of measurement.
But time is different. If we were living on the moon or living on Mars, our time would be a completely different measurement. The universe would be measured in a different way.
Yeah, this is why sci-fi has time. The decent sci-fi films has time measured in sols rather than days, because we realise that we're going to have a central point of time. But time is not a man-made construct. The way of measuring time is a man-made construct.
Yes.
So I mean, 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, 365 days in a year.
But that's just based upon the Earth's orbit.
Yeah, that's a man-made construct.
Yes.
Time is existing. It exists in physics.
Well, time doesn't exist when the light exists. We base time based upon the speed of light.
Atoms decaying. Uranium radiation decay. We can measure something's radiation by its uranium by its decay.
But why does that have to be based on a time construct?
Because it's something that happens over a period, therefore time is a thing.
But time's only measured in the way that we construct.
Yeah, no, so the measurement of time is man-made, but time exists as a force.
different conversation, but okay.
Time exists because like, you can't. Well, why does it take a million years for a uranium isotope to decay?
Well, time stops existing if you can go faster than light.
Yeah, but nothing can go faster than light according to our science at the moment. But even though that's got to possibly, we know yesterday happened. Yesterday happened.
Well,
you lived it, you experienced it, it happened.
However, if you look back at the stars, what I can see to now, if I look at a star now, that is something from 1 million years ago. So yesterday didn't happen to that star based upon the power.
No, but yesterday happened to you. So time exists.
But if I get in the car, I time travel.
Right. No, time exists.
Time is a man-made construct.
The measurement of time is a man-made. The way we measure time on Earth might be different to the way we measure time on Jupiter or in different galaxies. Right. So the measurement of time, but time exists. Yesterday happened. You can't be that. Yesterday happened. That's fact.
One of the outside of time, the discussion we've just had.
Yeah.
There's another one which says things are a bit more insidious and it's got nothing to do with universes, parallel universes, conflicts of time.
Okay.
It's actually an insidious government controlling the masses by doing specific manipulations. So
we're going like down the Bilderberg Majestic 12 shadow government here.
Yeah, in a kind of way. So the idea is that it's just a psyop, a huge motherfucking psyop on the masses.
Are you trying to tell me the Mandela Effect is Monty Hawk 2.0?
It's Montauk 17.0. Yeah. No, but one of the things that I found was actually it's a psyop by governments, Western governments mainly, to control the masses. So if you have the idea of it's always been true, a certain thing's always been true, and the government says, well, actually, we own Google, we own all these sorts of things, we can change whatever we see fit, and they just put out little things to see how you may interact with those minor changes. And actually, it's a government construct. Trivial changes, like just changing song lyrics or the name or things like that.
Right, so I can buy into that because we kind of touched on that in the Simpsons episode. We kind of touched on the Simpsons episode when I said that Rupert Murdoch sold Fox because he realised streaming was the future and it was going to cost a lot of money to fucking compete in the streaming market and he still might lose, so he just sold all his entertainment stuff. But he kept the news and sports because he can tell people what to think.
He can still control them, yeah.
Right? But yeah, I get that you can change Disney could change Magic Mirror and pull it out from the vault and stuff, but you've still got videotapes from 92 where C3PO's got a silver leg.
No. You're getting the wrong side of it. So the controlling of the masses is not the content. The content's always been the same, but it's the opposite of the content. So C3PO's always has a silver leg, but you ship out loads of content that says it's got a gold leg and see who buys into it. Or it's always been Magic Mirror, but you go loads of memes saying mirror mirror on the wall, or you put out loads of website stuff and
so you kind of reverse disinformation campaign.
So you're reversing the truth
into
something completely different just to see who buys, how much of the populace will buy into it, how much of the people can be controlled by very simple things.
That's evil.
It's evil. But is that more logical than a fucking parallel universe?
More logical, no. More believable, yes. But it still doesn't explain why I know C3PO had a fucking gold leg, not a silver one.
We have to talk. Well, we'll come to our conclusions, I suppose. But we have to talk about though. How much of your memory? Because I struggle now to think of this. So, was my memory of C3PO's silver leg and no, I am your father, based upon what I observed or what I was told? I don't know anymore.
C-3PO was always gold. I didn't know he had a silver leg until I got told he had a silver leg. Then I went back and watched the footage, and look, he has a silver leg. No one's touched that fucking VHS tape in my attic. No one shit. He didn't have a silver leg on that tape when I last watched it, and I got out of my attic. There's no fucking CIA agents come in and changed the tape and swapped it round. You know what I mean?
But is that an observational issue for you and for me?
We were talking earlier, we noticed small bits in films. How about the license plate in the latest Grand Tour episode and stuff. We both said that our missus both haters because we talk about that was on his jacket earlier. What the fuck's that about? He was like in that chair last scene in really small shit that doesn't matter. We notice. And it winds them up, but yet some are fucking big, like C3 having a silver leg we never noticed.
Does he have a red leg later on?
He has a red arm.
Red arm.
Later on. And that was in the sequel trilogy.
Number 7.
Yeah, it was in number 7, but it was in he only had a red arm in number 7, so they could put a comic book out explaining why he had a red arm to sell more comic books. Yeah, that seems explainable. The silver leg is just makes no fucking sense. It makes no sense to exist. But yeah, and I wanted to go on to one source of Mandela Effect is quantum computers.
The cause of the find.
The cause.
Okay.
So quantum computers use tiny circuits superposition whereby multiple quantum states can be merged to produce a new outcome. An entanglement which results in groups of particles that interrelate and cannot be described independently. Quantum computing utilises the fluctuation of atomic and subatomic particles, so this is where we've seen with experiments from Kern where a particle can exist in multiple places at once. Mm-hmm. And this is where quantum computing is going, where we can harness that subatomic power that it can have unlimited. So you wouldn't have to we'll get like a GPU now, and then 3 years later you need to buy a better GPU or a better graphics card. And just get a quantum graphics card or a quantum processor, and it can just work on it works on the subatomic, and it works in everywhere at once because the subatomic level certain particles just pop in and out.
Is it in Canada that they've got it? Mm-hmm. Is it called the Maz 2 or?
Yeah, they've got the Maz 2.
Is it the Maz 2?
Yeah, and there's one in America as well, I can't remember the name of. But quantum computing utilises the fluctuation of the atomic and subatomic particles as they morph from one state to another. So that is particles that exist everywhere at once. Yep. So we utilise as a pop into this reality, we use them to pop into another reality.
So you use energy from lots of locations, okay.
While prior computers use bits and bytes to quantify processing power, quantum computers use qubits and quantum bits. Yeah. While a bit can be found at either of the two poles within a sphere, a qubit can be found anywhere within that sphere.
Okay.
So you've got a bit, and it's stored here and it's stored there.
Zeros and ones.
Yeah. So quantum bit could be anywhere within that, so it exponentially increases your storage and right. For quantum computing storage size, processing power and computation, it means that there will be infinite space, infinite power, infinite logic gates and infinite computational possibilities, far outpacing today's limited classic computer architecture. When we enter the quantum computing arena, traditional laws of physics and particle theory no longer apply. Computers are no longer working on a physical atomic level.
Can I just say though, seriously, if I love the idea of quantum physics and the quantum computers, but surely the changes would be more than just changed a fucking word in a movie. Surely.
Well, the quantum theory related to the Mandela Effect goes something like this. As quantum computers interact with the various states of the atomic and subatomic particles within their spheres, they affect other particles within the realities of different dimensions. Some say this alone could change specific details surrounding specific events. So basically we've invented quantum computers.
Okay.
And they're we're using subatomic particles that bounce into this reality into the next one, and the one on that side and one on this side, and they're bouncing out. We're using computing power, and they're bringing back information that life was a box of chocolates. C-3PO has a silver leg, and they're just overwriting, like you were saying earlier at the beginning episode, that when information comes in, the universe corrects itself like a kind of ripple effect.
Yeah.
So this isn't a massive, monumental two universes colliding like Kern theories. This is just, we've got quantum computing now. These exist. Quantum computers exist now.
They do. Fact.
Are these just bringing information from other dimensions, and that ripple out effect is just correcting?
Possibly, but I would still be expecting 100% to see that it would affect more with products and movies. 100%. I'd be expecting to have memories of Champs-Élysées not being in France and being in fucking Italy or something, you know.
My argument to that is the Statue of Liberty being on this island, not on Liberty Island.
But that's not to everybody.
It's to a lot of people, and that's why I think the Mandela Effect, that if these two quantum realities have merged, no one can verify your personal memories.
That's true.
But all these Mandela Effects are pop culture and stuff, because that's something we can all gather around, whereas my personal memories are different to your personal memories, different to someone else's personal memories.
That's right.
So if we switched realities, or two realities have bled together, I have no way of verifying your personal memories.
But I would still be expecting...
So we'd rally around pop culture, because that's what we can verify.
No, don't trivialise it. It can't just be pop culture. There would be major sporting events, major news events that everybody's seen. There would be all sorts of events outside of, I've changed a logo. There would be stuff like, outside of Mandela, there would be stuff like, the Nazis didn't win the war.
So that'd be 100 universes away from the woman.
No, but
we've bled to the one closest to us. There's so much it's the same. Like we were talking about earlier, where it's not like, oh, if I turn left or turn right, I create a new universe. That's not how it works on the quantum. So the quantum doesn't care if I walk left or right.
I talked about the butterfly effect, that if you change one tiny thing in any universe, the effect is enormous. Even from a biological level of breathing. There was the movie.
If I have COVID today, I don't know I have it, and I've been sat here talking to you. Are you going to go and give COVID to 15 people and 2 of them die?
Well, possibly, but
so that'd be the quantum effect. Whereas in the new universe, I don't have COVID, I don't give it to you. So are those 2 people still alive today?
But
because
if I turn,
you know what I mean?
If I turn right and cough, and I pass my bacterium, that now flies westerly.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I cough and on the
you cough to the west, but you cough into a northeasterly wind, and it blows it that way and infects someone.
The butterfly effect of, if you step on a butterfly a million years ago, the world
dinosaurs never happened.
The world's completely different. So I can't. The fact that we've got these 2 merging universes, yes, I can get that we might have visual differences and thoughts, but our universe would be so dramatically different now. It's incomprehensible. Me and you probably wouldn't be in the same space at the same time. It doesn't matter if you're just changing the logo.
I agree. I see where you're coming from. I agree, but I also disagree at the same time. I don't think that you turning left or right is that important on a quantum level, but then the chain of effect it could cause probably could be. So,
but
you know,
on a very simple level, right? I remember a few years ago we sat in a bus. Normally I drive, but the missus takes the car to work, and I get the bus to work, to work sometimes. And I sat in a bus with a guy who was coughing his head off like a nutter. Mm-hmm. And I said to him, "Is everything okay?" And he said to me, "Oh, normally people ignore me." That's what he said to me. I had a chat with him, this, that and the other, and I had a massively positive effect on his day, he said. So people normally ignore me, young man, you know what I mean? Proper old guy.
Yeah.
But I had this massively positive effect just because I said, "Hello, are you alright? Do you need some tissue because you're coughing? You know, you're an old guy, sat in the disabled section." And he got off and had a great day. He said, normally people ignore me. Had I not had that conversation with him, his day would have been exactly the same as it was before. A simple hello changes someone's entire day.
Well,
their effect on somebody else changes because they have a positive effect on somebody else. The domino effect happens.
I've got a story.
I've got
a story very similar. Normally we used to pick my boys up. It's about 10 years ago. I used to pick my boys up on a Friday, get the bus into town, get the bus out of town. As we're going for a bus in town, we see the bus and we'd run for our bus is there, quick run for bus. And this day I come out, I thought, fuck it, we'll wait till the next one, don't matter. Can't be asked for it, we'll wait till the next one. So we got the next one. And some fucking yob started on this guy. He stood up to him, they punched him. And he fucking, as he hit him, he hit his jaw, he hit his fucking temple on bar and went down unconscious. Right? So it's right. Stood, waited to look at they got off at next stop. Fucking boom, straight on, head under him. First, my backpack under his head. Give him first aid and stuff. Said the boys, right, go downstairs now. Sent the elders downstairs, tell the driver what's happening. You tell the driver this. I give a boy a message. He went down to tell the driver. We didn't need to stop. And guy got first aid and stuff. So, like, if I'd have run for that bus, that guy might have died. No one else had not busted up and given first aid. If I hadn't given first aid, someone else might have done. Someone else might have been the bus that did it.
So all these little decisions make a big difference.
It shoulda, coulda, woulda, if what.
So you telling me that a tiny change in one universe has a massive effect on another. I don't believe that two universes can coincide next to each other. One can change the other without massive consequences or massive change. And it wouldn't just be this, it would be wholly across the board massive changes. We've seen a simple conversation can make a big change to one person's personality. They go happy to somebody else. That person has a different conversation with somebody else, and it completely dominoes. What people at home fail to understand is the effect that one person can have on another.
One of my favourite sayings is a smile can travel the globe.
It can.
I can walk past you in the street tomorrow and smile at you. Don't just touch you, just smile at you. And I smile at you smile at the next person, they smile at the next person, they smile at the next person, and they go on a Facebook call and smile at someone else. Before you know it, 10 hours your smile my smile has travelled all around the world. It's just passed on from one to another. And that smile has travelled around the world.
100%. If I come to you in the street and just go, don't know who you are, and go, I hope you have a fantastic day. You feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could go up and go, do you know what? I fucking hate your hat. And you don't feel good. You pass that to the next person. And this is the thing. On a very simple scenario, that's a butterfly effect.
Yeah.
If you're wholesale changing small things, I do not believe for 1 second that we would not see a massive shift in our world.
So I think we're going to get caught in a discussion here. So should we just finish closing?
Okay.
So do you want to give your closing statement?
Oh, I don't even know how to close. Okay. Right. This is not a fucking easy closing at all.
It's not.
And I'll be honest, right, when we first talked about the Mandela Effect years ago, I thought it was fanciful, bit of fun. And then I sort of shoehorned this in this week, because I've done 2 in a row now.
Yeah.
So I did the moon landings in this one. And I just thought this would be quick.
I didn't expect it to get as deep and philosophical as we've got, to be fair.
Although
I shouldn't have expected it from us two.
But I didn't know, to be honest, because before I give my answer, I just want to say something I think is quite important. That there's lots and lots of people have the same output. So, as an example, how we said it's no, you are your father, we believe is Luke.
Mm-hmm.
My psychological mindset, my consciousness, my environment is different to yours. It's different to 1,000, maybe 1 million other people, and all of them think the same thing as me. So, for me,
these are people you've never met or interacted with or had no connection with, but they all believe the same as you.
And this is the problem, right? This is a difficult thing that I find, that can a single. Can me saying I can explain for me personally why that might have happened.
Explain for millions of people worldwide.
It can.
No.
It can, and this is the issue, right? So there's so many different people have the same thought that is the same as mine, with so many different mental attributes and different and environments and difficulties and the way they think and the way they interact, but still come to the same scenario.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult for me to then say it's this and therefore it's this and therefore it's this. But on the discussion we've had so far, I do not believe for 1 second it's a fucking time traveller or some form of universes colliding or alternate timelines, because I don't believe for 1 second that had those big things happened, it'd just be this. There'd be too much happening. We'd have too much in our brains going. We've got dissonance on 1,000 things. It'd just be too big. It can't happen because I believe in the butterfly effect. It can't happen that way. So if I take all that sci-fi stuff out of the way and I sit down and go, okay, what can do it? I'm struggling, I'll be honest, I'm struggling. The Mandela Effect is real. But I think if every single person sat down and went, look at all these reasons why it could be real, for me, on a personal level, it could be real because of this. And therefore I could attribute this thought on this. I think the biggest thing, without a doubt, in my personal opinion, is the internet. I think I see a lot of memes, like the Luke, I am your father. Mm-hmm. I am not entirely sure if I believe that until I saw a meme.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was my thought, or if I saw someone write it and I went, that's what it said.
It adapts to your memory.
And memory is fallible, it's false, it can change. We talked about how it can overwrite itself. So I'm going to have to bundle it all together because it's really difficult, it's really impossible. And I don't want to discount anybody's experience at all, mm-hmm. But we've always agreed we cannot sit on the fence.
No, so the Mandela Effect, does that believe?
I think it can be explained, but it's very thin. So the Mandela Effect. No, I don't.
You don't believe? That does not believe in the Mandela Effect.
I believe everybody has their experience.
You can be degrees on the fence. You can be just on the side of the fence and don't believe, or you could be a mile away from the fence. So we can put degrees of the fence in.
I'll put it this way. I've discussed with you today, mm-hmm. At least 5 where I've gone, fuck off, right? Yeah. He fucking had he does not have a silver leg. He did not say mirror, mirror on the wall. And I can say that. But then I can try and pick apart my own thought process and go, why would I personally think that might have happened? Right? But my personal reasons is not the same as somebody else's personal reasons. But if I did it for me only...
So for you only, for you. I'm not asking, does the world believe you? I'm not asking... do you believe on behalf I'm not asking you to be an ambassador for humankind. I'm saying you, Craig, does I believe personally, does I believe?
I think I could possibly add logic, reason, thought and say not 100%, but I'd have to waver on saying I could probably explain most of it away and therefore it does not exist. And that is, honestly, that is the hardest answer I've given on this channel so far.
No, I can see how much that hurt you to say that.
It's really difficult.
Yeah.
It's really difficult because memories, like, I know memories can be false. I know I've experienced false memories.
Yeah.
And I know they can be false, but it's so tough because it's not going to be the same for anybody else watching.
I mean, this is the reason I mentioned earlier that we say, give us evidence and we'll change our mind. and there's video evidence to C3PO with silver leg, one going, no, that's not true. We say, give us evidence, we'll change our mind, and we get given evidence on this one, we're going, no, the evidence ain't right.
It's because it feels too personal, but I have to look at that and go, he does have a silver leg. I don't remember it being that way, but he has a silver leg. So if he does have one, how did I come to the conclusion he doesn't? And I have to try and explain that away. And I think on all of them, even if it's thin, I could possibly explain them all away. Even if I believe it or not, I could possibly explain them away. And it means that I'm 60-40 this way.
We've gone through it at length now, and we're going to close the show down because I think we're going quite a lot. But for my closing statement, I'm going to say I like diving into the science of parallel universe and quantum mechanics, and is quantum computing changing this? Did Kern clash two parallel universes together? I like the sci-fi aspect of that it could be a possibility. But it all comes down to two things for me.
C3PO's leg?
It is mirror on the wall, and C3PO did not have a silver fucking leg. I can't get over those two. Anyway, we can argue the grammatical errors of Forrest Gump, or we can argue the emotional intent of Field of Dreams, and we can argue whether Kit Kat had a fucking hyphen or not, or Bernstein Bears was an E, not an A, and I didn't even mention Looney Tunes or Looney Tunes. You know, I don't care. But C3PO never had a silver leg.
But we could show you it in a DVD.
And it's always been mirror on the wall.
But we could show you that in a DVD.
So, if you have to sit here now, right now, and after all this discussion we've had and go, does that believe in the Mandela Effect? That believes.
For fuck's sake, I've not believed in anything yet!
Sorry, I believe. That believes.
I don't. Yeah.
I can't. We've argued stuff, we've argued grammatical errors, and we've argued other things, and blah blah blah, and whatever, right? There's no argument for C3PO silver leg. There's no argument for mirror on the wall.
But that's your experience.
Yeah, and it's my lived experience, and I know what that was. I had those fucking toys. I've seen that film countless fucking times. I know what it was.
Right,
I know in my bones of bones that C3PO was always fucking gold. I know my bones of fucking... I can feel it in my bones that it was mirror.
So, we've always...
Yeah, they're the two that fuck me up. They're the two. The rest, we can argue till the day is done. They're the two I can't fucking... So, yeah. Does that believe in the Mandela Effect? That believes.
We've always agreed... Damn it, we won't fight about this.
We are allowed our opinions, and we are allowed to believe what we believe.
We're allowed to finish, but I can assure you...
this is going to go on long after this video ends.
Because I still can't understand I can watch a Blu-ray and see what the fuck yourself like. Anyway!
Never happened.
I will honestly say, I'm going to be honest, right? In closing, this took me by surprise. This has been the funniest one we've done, in my opinion.
What took me by surprise is we started out really funny. I had a really good laugh with this. I didn't expect it to go as deep and philosophical and scientific as we did at the end. I love that we did.
But,
you can't believe that I believe in it. Look at you just like, I want to punch you, you dickhead. I just want to hit you.
It's not that. I don't think you're drunk enough. This, in all honesty, this took me by surprise. This was one I walked into thinking this is a lot of bollocks. The more I've investigated...
Really makes you question your existence.
Well, I don't question my existence because I know I'm God, but...
Says Mr. Lord here, you know.
I just flagged
Mr. Craig, Lord Badger, just saying.
No, I'm only joking. No, but in all honesty, but like the other ones, we could go, here's the evidence, and therefore find an outcome. On this one, it's a case of, I think this way, the real world shows it this way, and it's impossible to fill in the bits in between. It's so tough.
Even where you fall down, where you fall down, this is based purely on lived experience.
It is.
It's on your perception, your interpretation, your lived experience. So you can't. Like we did the moon landings last week, and we went bit by bit through, and we disproved every bit of the conspiracy, and went, "There's no fucking." At the end of it, went, "There's no conspiracy here. We landed on the fucking moon. That happened. We can't. There's no scope for argument." This one is personal interpretation and lived experience and memory, so there's scope for argument here.
Do you know, I'm gonna end up getting a name for myself here, aren't I?
It's like Hitler's fucking jawbone all over again.
It is. And the thing is though, if you ask Badger, like, who's the biggest conspiracy theorist you know, you'd say I'm the biggest fucking conspiracy, one of the biggest you know.
But I'm 2 for naught on you here.
I've not believed any of them.
I'm 2 for naught on you.
And I'm like, because I sit there and go, okay, let's take this conspiracy thing and just put it in this bottle.
I mean, the thing, I will say, I get a little bit behind the scenes, right? So we did the moon landing last week, which is one we both flip-flopped on over the years.
We did.
And when we finished filming, we went upstairs, had a drink, and went, I fucking hate doing this channel, because I love the moon landing conspiracy, and now we just ripped it to fucking bits. Like, it feels like I'm ripping the magic out of everything I
can't have a
enjoyed.
conversation anymore, yeah. And I think at the end of that video last week we were like proper deflated, because that was for me the granddaddy. Outside of Roswell.
Roswell's I'm scared of doing Roswell now because of the moon landing. I'm scared of doing Roswell.
I don't want to do it because I want to believe. So outside of Roswell, the moon landing was the daddy. And at the end of the moon landing I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
But
I'm not having conspiracies left to believe in.
I will just point out that the biggest conspiracy theorist here, and I'm 2 for naught. I'm 2 for naught right now.
This was... I've got my own cognitive dissonance going.
You just don't believe in it, but you want to.
Just end the fucking video because I am done.
I think that's a good place to end it.
But thanks for watching. Amazing as always. If you managed to get through to this part and not laughed, fuck off.
What the fuck is wrong with you? As always, like, share, subscribe, do that bullshit. But please, 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 go tell 2 friends about us.
And also, send me some more Desperados, please. Just send them to Badger. Happy days.
Yeah, we're good, we're fine, just send them. But no, as always, he's been Craig, I've been Badger, we have been the ALEuminati.
Am I Craig?
Yes, you
I
are.
think the universe is kicking in. I think it might be somebody else.
There might be like the quantum effect might
Mirror,
continue.
mirror on the wall.
So next week, so join me and Dave next week.
For more interactive discussion, it's Badger Yeti.
Until next time, silly.
Fuck off.